Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. Mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog. Well, they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Hey guys, it's Mark Schlereth. I just made one of the best decisions of my life. I got rid of my glasses. I went to Cutarelli Vision and had refractive lens exchange, RLE. I wore glasses for distance vision, but I got to that inevitable point in life where I was always needing those reading glasses just to do about anything, and half the time I couldn't find them. Seeing menus, texting, reading my computer, or studying film, it was a struggle. But now I see the world perfectly, near and far, without any glasses, thanks to Cutarelli Vision RLE, the perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the cherry on top. You'll never develop a cataract. Dr. Cutarelli is Colorado's most experienced with over 90,000 vision correction procedures. You can trust him to know if it's the right time for you and RLE. Schedule your free Zoom consultation at coloradorle.com. Cutarelli Vision, RLE, no readers, glasses, or contacts, or cataracts. coloradorle.com.
You're hearing this right now. So are your customers. That's radio. It still works. But your customers don't live in one place anymore. Tonight they're streaming Denver's biggest game on their TV. Tomorrow they're deep in the most popular podcast in the country. Next week, all three, all over again. We built one campaign that reaches them everywhere. Radio, streaming TV, podcasts, all under one roof. All measured, all working together. That's not a pitch. That's a system. DenverSports.com. Let's build yours.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zach here. On behalf of my friends at American Financing, what if next month looked different? What if instead of robbing Peter to pay Paul, you had one clear payment and money left over for the things that actually matter? If you're a homeowner, that's not a fantasy. American Financing is making it happen. They're not going to judge you. They're here to help you. Everything is more expensive right now, and you're spending more on the basics than ever before. American Financing's salary-based mortgage consultants will give your paycheck a raise by lowering your debt obligations. Their average customer savings is $800 a month, and you may delay 2 mortgage payments, and you may close in as fast as 10 days. Guys, there's no upfront fees. There's no obligation. We all want to live without stress. Your home's equity could help you do this. So call them at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan is brought to you by TradeGen Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors.
Want real Broncos talk? Cecil Lemmy and Andrew Mason bring the heat on Orange and Blue Today. The most passionate intelligence and in-depth Broncos coverage in the game. Weekdays at 5 p.m. on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan YouTube channel. Hit subscribe at Denver Sports 104.3 and never miss another take. Orange and Blue Today, powered by Ramos Law, official injury law firm partner of the Denver Broncos. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
off, and rolling. Here on a Thursday, June 25th. 25th! The day after the NBA draft wrapped up, and we have a lot of ground to cover. What up, Phil?
Woo! What's going on, ZB, man? How are you doing? It is a Thursday. It's a nice day out there. It's not too hot. Although it was hot earlier, I was at my son's camp, and I was frying, man, getting a little darker, getting my skin darker there, man.
Yeah, when
How
that
you
sun
doing?
pops out, it's pretty warm,
Yeah.
goes away. It's a nice, cool day here in Denver, Colorado.
Here we go.
Fired up to be here. Fun conversation, with the fellas to start the show. That just kind of organic that we were having behind the scenes. That maybe we can have some fun and circle back to a little bit later in today's show. But we were all anxious to see what would happen with these Denver Nuggets. Heading into last night, I did not think that they were going to pick 2 players with both of their picks. That's exactly what they did.
Salary dump, Z. Salary dump. That's all that was in my head yesterday, right? It's like, hey, we're going to do a salary dump. Maybe they're going to dump Zeke Naji.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's Cam Johnson. But they're not going to pick players. And they went in there and they picked some players, Z.
They did. 35th overall selection, Trevon Brazil. All right, and I know his name is spelled Trevon, like, Trayvon. But in the Denver Nuggets official press release to the media in an email, they said Trev-in, Trev-in. So I'm going to go with what their phonetic spelling is, Trevon. So Trevon Brazil, 6'10", nearly 6'11", 225 pounds. My first note on this young man reads like this: dunk contest level athlete.
You should be a scout, by the way.
Loads of potential. I love looking at players and try to diagnose who they are.
But if you weren't going to do this job, you talked about you were going to probably be a scout, right?
A college coach, and be a recruiter. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's fun that you're coming up with these, but you know what? For Trevon Brazil, my man has some bunnies. He has some hops like I used to have.
Holy smokes,
my man
Phil.
would throw it down on you, long rangey. Everything that I wanted, athletic, long, rangy. The only thing is, ZB, my man's probably going to be in the G League.
Well, this is what happens to, second-round picks typically. Depending on what site you look at, it is approximately anywhere between 16% and 28% of second-round draft picks work, and work out. The 16% is for the back half of the second round. And again, it's unscientific, but yeah, these, I mentioned this yesterday, the second round in the NBA, comparatively to the second round in the NFL, it's like they're 2 completely different worlds of drafts. But this kid, I'm going to try, I want to make sure I say this today. I have been very realistic with the Denver Nuggets. And to be realistic is to be negative. Okay,
so you're going with a different approach now.
I'm going to try because I have to be real, right? Yeah. I have to be authentic, right? So and to do that is to be skew negatively in a way that is just natural because it's an acknowledgement of the situation that the Nuggets find themselves in, and the situation that they find themselves in may play a big part of why they did what they did last night. So we'll put a pin in that, and we'll get back to it here in a minute, but
So we'll go good cop, bad cop. I'll be the bad cop. You'll be the good cop.
No,
today.
I know. I'm gonna be real, but I'm gonna try to allow myself to be optimistic and hopeful on a day like today, but then also probably shoehorn in some realistic commentary about these guys. So let's just start with the positive. The dude is he's nearly 6'11". He's 6'10" and 3/4, damn near, and he's a dunk contest level athlete. Talking about Trevon Brazil. All right, loads of potential. All right, he will make defensive plays at the rim. All right, the concerns about Trevon Brazil are this came up time and again with reading these draft profiles. Because let's be honest, I'm doing catch up on Trevon Brazil, right? And I actually remember him. All right, because much like, remember I told you I went to Texas against Florida. Right?
Yeah, you've been to Texas. You went to the SMU game. You just like to travel, Z.
No, that's not true. I'm going to an SMU game.
Okay,
I went to my the only major college football game that I've seen outside of a CU game was the Longhorns hosting Texas, and I hope to make it maybe something annual.
Texas versus Florida.
Texas versus Florida. What did I say? I'm sorry.
You said Longhorns hosting Texas. So that
sorry, that's an inter-squad scrimmage. That's a spring game. And but I remember telling you, I was sitting there with my buddy Terrence, and I'm watching this punter kick a punt 62 yards, and I remember just saying, "Damn," and that was all.
Mm-hmm.
But then he gets drafted by the Broncos, and I'm going, "Wait, Jeremy Crawshaw, that was him." Same thing with Trevin Brazil. I remember this young man flying around for John Calipari, and then they draft him last night, and I watched the highlights. I go, oh, I remember him.
So the flashes are there. The highlights are there.
The highlights are not the problem.
Then what's the problem? What's the problem?
I read from one scout that I respect say, if you watch just 3 minutes of his highlights, he looks like a top 10 pick. But you have to ask yourself, why is someone that's almost 6'11", that has a 42-inch vert, being picked 35th in the NBA draft?
Yeah.
Right? So, like,
what's wrong with
those two things can't compute. And one of the things that you hear over and over with him is major questions about his motor. He doesn't play with a sense of urgency. He doesn't play hard. This is someone who every time he has stepped on a basketball court since about the time he was 9, he's the best athlete.
Yeah.
He's always been able to bridge whatever gap that was in front of him with his length and athleticism. That will not fly at the next level.
So all he's missing is a motor. All he's missing is that high motor, flying around, giving full effort all the time. Well, that's something that if you have somebody like Jokic that's there to teach you, that right there can help someone like Trevin Brazil out.
Yes.
Where if he can get that, capture that, it's like, man, you could be a special player in this league and develop in the right pace. And guess what? Peyton Watson was one, too, where over time he developed. So maybe Brazil can do the exact same things, EB.
Phil, we have to put a pin in this conversation because we have breaking news in Denver sports in real time, and we'll pass it along next.
Is Denver's grip on Davis Webb stronger than anyone wants to believe?
So he's so appreciative of the opportunity and understands what a great opportunity is, and also what a great opportunity is to work under Sean for multiple years. He is not going to go coach at some franchise or some organization where you've got no chance to win. He's not going to do it.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Hey, what's up, guys? Zach here on behalf of my friends at the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, talking to you guys out there about something that you already know deep down, is that intimacy matters, all right? And when erectile dysfunction gets in the way, it can feel frustrating. But the truth is, guys, it's 2026. Most men don't have to live with ED anymore. And you may be surprised how the right treatment can improve your love life. And that's to say, just improve your life. All right? I'm talking success rates at the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic over 90%. All right? That is, like, you go to the Hall of Fame with numbers like that, right? They've served the Front Range of Colorado for nearly a decade. They've successfully treated tens of thousands of men just like you. All right? So I hate to break it to you, you're not that special. ED is actually pretty common. The initial visit is just $99. That includes a medical consult, a T and PSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. Guys, if the test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit's free. There's no downside. So pick up the phone. Stop living with ED. Call them 720-440-7900 or simply visit them online at RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Switching your account numbers is hard. Being forced to switch, even worse. That's why at Belco Credit Union, we want to pay you to switch. From June 1st to August 31st, we're offering a $300 bonus when you open a new checking account with a qualifying direct deposit of $500 or more. They changed your account number. You can change who you bank with. Go to belco.org/switch for full offer details. Insured by NCUA. Membership eligibility required. Conditions and restrictions apply. Belco. Banking for everyone.
He's a former coach with 2 sons who played professional basketball. Satch Sullinger's a competitive individual, but his golf game was suffering because of painful joints.
Right, that's real important, the golf game. Right, as we get older, we create these bad habits because we're relegated to hit a certain way.
QC Kinetics used regenerative treatments, all natural healing properties from Satch's own body, to restore those damaged joints and get his golf game back on track.
QC Kinetics regenerative medicine is regenerating me, all natural, and that's what I'm about. I'm going to tell everybody why I'm better.
Oh, and by the way, looks like the competitive Satch is back.
We're all in the same boat, and I'm getting better, and I'm watching them stay old.
Go to QCkinetics.com. Get relief and your game back. Call for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 303-900-8986. That's 303-900-8986. 303-900-8986.
Most small business break-ins happen between 2 and 5 a.m. The owner finds out when they unlock the door at 7. Pull footage from a consumer system and you get a silhouette in a hoodie. Nothing identifiable. Vantage installs cameras that read a face in total darkness. And they don't stop at cameras. Access control, network, intercom, cabling, AV. One company, one number. Ready to invest in real security for your business or property? Call Vantage at 720-366-7759 or visit business.vssicolorado.com today.
Shop Honda keeps car buying simple. One price, one person, 1 hour means no games, no back and forth, and no dealer handling fees ever. Upfront pricing and one dedicated advisor who handles everything from start to finish. It's straightforward, stress-free, and honestly, the way car buying should have always been. At Shop Honda, the experience is just as good as the vehicle you're driving home. Discover the Shop Honda difference for yourself. Visit Shop Honda today, proud partner of the Dover and Cecil Show.
Colorado, it's time to take our recycling to the next level. That's why Recycle-On Colorado is bringing you more curbside and drop-off service from peaks to prairies. Guidelines as clear as our skies, so you know what goes where. And the price? As free as gawking at bighorns on I-70. You deserve a recycling system you can count on, like your puffiest winter coat. And we're here to give it to you. Learn more at recycleon.org/Colorado.
A family office is a team built to handle the 3 biggest financial responsibilities a family faces: wealth management, tax strategy, and estate planning. Most firms only manage your investments and refer the rest out, hoping everyone stays aligned. At Trajan, we built something different. Your wealth, tax planning, and estate planning are handled together inside one firm under one roof. There's no guessing whether your CPA, advisor, and estate attorney are truly in sync, because our team works together every day on your behalf. When your financial life becomes more complex, your advice should become more coordinated, not more fragmented. One plan, one trusted team. Call Trajan today, 855-TRAJAN-1. That's 855-TRAJAN-1.
Trajan Wealth, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Additional services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures and accreditation at TrajanWealth.com.
From cowboy flying aces to local astronauts, discover the Coloradans who changed flight forever. Determined to fly. Now open at Wings Over the Rockies. Learn more at wingsmuseum.org.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan is brought to you by 5280 Exteriors, the altitude of quality.
Listen up, Denver. This hour's keyword is pitch, P-I-T-C-H. Text pitch to 303-713-1043 right now for your chance to win a $250 gas card. That's pitch to 303-713-1043.
By texting, you agree to receive an automated marketing message from Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Message and data rates may apply. For complete rules or to enter the keyword online, visit www.denversports.com/keyword.
You're listening to The Drive with Zach By and Phillip.
Bubbling rumors and suggestions around one player within the Avs that's a household name, and that's Val Nichushkin.
Big Val.
And Val has just been traded to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Coming back to Colorado in exchange for Nichushkin is a second-round pick in this coming draft in 2026, which is new because they did not have a first or second round pick or I don't even know if they had a third-round pick coming up.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But they get a pick for this draft, a second-rounder. They get a third-rounder in 2027, and they get a fifth-rounder in 2028.
No players, right? No players.
No players. So it's a second-round pick this year, a third-round pick next year, and a fifth-round pick in 2028. If you're saying to yourself, that doesn't seem like much of a return, you'd be correct. this is almost by definition of what we would call a salary dump.
It's a straight salary dump. It's trying to get Val's money off the books and restart. Find another winger at some point. Val, his time has come to an end. He has done a great job as a Colorado Avalanche, helped win a championship. But at some point, it's like, man, if you can't recap what you did to win that championship and be the same version we need you to be, we got to move on from you. And then they end up finding a deal, and Val's out the door, Z.
Wow. Well, you like something can happen sometimes, and just life works like this, where you can know something could happen, and then when it happened, it still is impactful, even though you've sort of prepped yourself for that thing to happen. And I for sure have prepped myself for the Avs to move on from Valeri Nichushkin, but it's still like kind of one of these things like, damn, okay, like that chapter of Avalanche hockey, and what a doozy of a chapter the Val Nichushkin chapter ended up being. It officially comes to a close.
See, I just look at it as like, okay, he's the first like core member that you break up, that you get rid of. Now you brought back Kadri, and I know at the beginning of all this, it was like, do we keep Val or do we bring back Kadri? You end up bringing back Val, and then that was a mess, although you still won that championship. Now Val is gone. You're looking at this like, guys, if I'm a player, if I'm Gabe and Nate Dogg and them, it's like, we got to get things going, man. Like this window, it's open still, but it's getting ready to shut if we don't find a way to win.
Well, honestly,
the
Mikko Rantanen trade should have done that.
That is true.
Like Mikko's jersey might hang from Ball Arena, and I suspect it will. So, I mean, I'm not going to go too much down on a rabbit hole with it because I
why are you smirking while you say this, man? Just say and tell everybody how you feel.
Well, this whole Val chapter, it just never worked out. It never worked out. It did up until the Cup. And then they had the big boy decision to make that you referenced, him or Kadri. They pick Val. And what happened after that? I mean, let's just face it. It was mostly a disaster.
Big time distraction.
Like a huge, huge disaster, and definitely a distraction. And what happened that next year in the first round, and then there was another chapter of it, and he gets, it was just a mess. And then when he did get his head screwed on, it felt like he was half the player he was leading up to that Stanley Cup. I mean, there were actually conversations, and this is hard to believe now, but I remember being at Brothers Barbecue. There was conversations of, is Val Nichushkin trending towards like one of the 5 best players in the league?
Well, he was so hot at the beginning, and he was young, Z, and he was doing that at a young age. And it's like, yeah, like the sky is the limits for this man. And then it comes crashing down with the baggage and the stuff that went down that I don't even know if you want to talk about again, but like it should be a 30 for 30.
It should definitely be a 30 for 30.
Especially they're still trying to find that woman, and I don't know if they ever are going to find her. But for Val, it's just, you're right, Z. It has been a disaster. For Val, it's like, man, it's bittersweet. They won a championship with him, but after that, he didn't do his part to help this team try to win another championship.
No, it got really complicated. In fact, there has been no more complicated player than Val Nichushkin, here in the last, call it, a post-Cup. And the stuff with Gabe, that stuff was out of his control, right? And so, but even that kind of got, tricky there for a while. It's like, what is happening here? The Val stuff was sticky. The team became complicit with his decision-making during that first round of the postseason against the Seattle Kraken in the year that they were trying to defend the Cup. And I never liked that the team got into bed. The team had dirt underneath their fingernails when they did what they did to get Val out of that situation. And it's like I said, it's great for him as a human being that he finally did what we believe, get the help he needed, went to inpatient rehab, did the whole thing. And but then once that happened, he was half the player that he was. So it's just been a really fascinating chapter of Avs hockey for him specifically, for a lot of the wrong reasons. And like I said, that chapter comes to a close today. But 2 things can be true at the same time. He was so phenomenal on his way, on the Avs' way to a Cup, that prompted once upon a time Nathan MacKinnon saying he was our best player on our championship run. And I think Nate actually believes that. And Cale got the Conn Smythe, but Val was just so
He was right there.
instrumental. It was remarkable the level that he raised himself to. And you did look at the age, and we got to remember, he flamed out in Dallas. He went a year without scoring a goal. And then he reclamated himself to a degree that no one could have seen, that we're having. Could he be one of the 5-10 best players in the sport? And then everything just unravels on the personal side. And
just so inconsistent, man.
Yeah.
With life off the ice and then on the ice. It's like, man, if you're going to do stuff off the ice, you better bring it on the ice. And he didn't do that.
No, he didn't.
Not consistently enough. And so now for Sakic, he's like, look, we got to move on. Great move for Sakic. I think, like you said earlier, we were all wondering when this was going to happen. It's a salary dump. The Avs saved $6.1 million because of that. Getting rid of Ross Colton, they saved $4 million. Getting rid of Val today, they're saving $6.1. So
Yeah.
what was that, around 10.9 around?
Yep, nearly $11 million they have now.
So for Sakic, it's like, what are you going to do with that, man? You have to strengthen up the blue line, on the blue line with the pairings. And we've talked about maybe Devon Taves taking a step back and being on the second pairing. And finding somebody that can pair with Cale, and then of course you're gonna have to go out there and find another winger.
So here's what's happening, guys. Super Joe is wheeling and dealing right now.
Super Joe is not messing around.
No, so you have the Ross Colton trade. That was about a week ago or so?
Yeah.
You have the Jack Jury trade yesterday, and now you have Val Nichushkin. If you're just joining us, Val Nichushkin has been traded to the Columbus Blue Jackets for 3 draft picks. A second-round draft pick in 2026, here right around the corner, a third-round draft pick here in 2027, a fifth-round draft pick in 2028. If you're expecting to hear more sizzle or a bigger name, that's not what this transaction was about. This was about dumping salary to do other stuff. And so I fully expect Joe Sakic and the organization to spend right up into the cap. This is a hard cap sport, right? This is not like the NBA. It's not like the NFL and the way that you can sort of manipulate things. Well, there's certain mechanisms you can, but I expect a corresponding move. I really do here in the next week or so. Drew Spivak behind the glass. You breathe hockey. Talk to me about how many draft picks do the Avalanche have here right around the corner in this draft?
Yeah, what they've accumulated over the last couple of days now, they have 10 picks in this year's draft. Now, they don't have a first rounder, which is something you would like to have, although it, for the Avs case, it would have been, 28 or 28, 29, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
But you've got a second rounder, a third rounder, 2 fourths, 2 fifths, no 6, but you got 4 seventh rounders. So this gives you some ammunition to make other deals and make other moves because you still got roster spots you got to fill. You've only got 4 defensemen under contract right now.
Right. Yeah.
You got to figure out, all right, are we bringing Brett Kulak back? Well, now you have the money where you can bring Brett Kulak back. You can bring Brent Burns back if you want to.
Please no.
I would agree with that.
Old man Burns.
You could go and you can upgrade the position. You probably still need to go find another forward now because, now Nazem Kadri could slot into that second line and be on the wing now, although they've said all along like they kind of want him to be a center.
Right.
So we'll see how that plays out. So Joe's not even close to done. I would expect at least maybe another move because we got the draft tomorrow night.
Right.
We're probably going to get at least 1, maybe 2 more moves over the course of this weekend before free agency starts on Wednesday.
But you're saying moves. But my question to you is, do you see anybody else getting traded from the Avs? Or is it adding people now?
I think it's adding people now. Yeah, especially now with 10 draft picks. That's a big deal. They didn't have these 10 draft picks.
No. The cupboard was empty.
It was empty. So I think you got St. Louis is in this too. I think that's when the Columbus, it was St. Louis' second-round pick. You got Nashville's third-round pick in the trade for Jack Drury yesterday. So you've added some nice ammunition to go out and make more corresponding moves to where you don't have to trade roster pieces from your active roster.
All right, wow.
Here we go.
Things are moving and moving quickly on the Colorado Avalanche front. Drew, are you sick? Are you under the weather? You are under the weather.
Yeah, can you tell?
I can hear that.
Yeah, a little bit.
I can hear that. All right, it's Drew's monthly sickness.
Oh, of course. I'm going to get it next. Right after Drew, it's me.
It's funny because it's true.
Unreal. All right, if you want to react to the trade of Val Nichushkin, we can go ahead and open up the RamosLaw.com text line 303-713-1043, or you can hit us up on our YouTube chat presented by Champ Honda. More reaction to the Val Nichushkin trade coming up next.
You asked for it, you got it. Backed by popular demand, it's the Drive's Brouhaha.
Big social brouhaha.
This summer, Zach and Phil are back on the road bringing their party to you. Last stop, Arvada. June 26th from 2 to 6 at Arvada Beer Garden.
That was quite a brouhaha.
Come find out what the commotion's all about. Head to DenverSports.com/drive for more details.
Guaranteed to bring the brouhaha.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-330-8323 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-330-8323. That's 800-330-8323. What do you have to lose? Call 800-330-8323. Again, 800-330-8323.
Walmart is proud to sponsor the Be a Mentor, Be a Fan football camp in partnership with 104.3 The Fan. Walmart is helping to invest in the next generation by bringing together Broncos alumni on-air hosts and South High School football coaches for a one-of-a-kind camp experience, benefiting Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Colorado, because every young person deserves encouragement, guidance, and the chance to reach their full potential. Walmart proudly supports Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Colorado and their mission to build life-changing mentoring relationships for kids across our community.
This summer, all roads lead to Groove Toyota in Inglewood during our Summer on Us sales event. Choose from hundreds of pre-owns, 40 under 15 grand, from the oldest family-owned Toyota dealership in the Denver Metro. See the selection at GrooveToyota.com. More than 100 used Toyotas, including Toyota Certified. Reserve your vehicle now at GrooveToyota.com. Start here, go anywhere.
Offer expires 6/7/26. Not all will qualify. Restrictions apply with approved credit. Call 720-961-4465 for complete details.
Hey guys, your boy Steve here today about my long-term buddy Troy Hansford. And if you're thinking about selling your house for any reason, now might be the time to sell, still get top dollar. Believe it or not, my guy Troy is still offering his $5,000 guarantee. What is it, you ask? Well, if you can't sell your house at your price on your timeline that you agree upon beforehand, bam, going to cut you a check for $5,000. Who else makes the offer? Nobody I've ever heard of. And he makes that offer because he continues to spend a ton of money marketing his listings, has about 100 families approved and ready to buy right now. And if for any reason you need to sell right away, Troy can buy your house, all cash, and he can close in as little as 7 days. You have a house to sell, Troy probably has that perfect buyer for you right now, waiting for you to pick up the phone and to call him. Call Troy, get your home sold for the most money. That's 720-900-4433, 720-900-4433. Troy Hansford of RE/MAX Professionals, a Colorado licensed broker. Some restrictions do apply. If you want to sell your house? Then call my buddy Troy, 720-900-4433.
Hey, Robbie Andino here at BeatTheDA.com. I've handled over 7,000 cases and 300 trials. My entire family's military, and I want to carry that legacy over to helping you grunts and officers out. If you've got a divorce going on, or you got a domestic violence, or heck, if you've even been put in handcuffs, give me a ring immediately. I've never lost a DV trial. That leads me to be a beast in a courtroom, in a divorce case, in a custody case. Let's face it, the paper-pushing telephone softies can't compete. Hit me up at BeatTheDA.com or give me a ring, 720-706-5151.
Colorado's largest fireworks show, 22 minutes that absolutely blow the roof off. July 4th at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. But first, the main event. Team USA takes on Portugal in the inaugural World Rugby Nations Cup with Tonga versus Zimbabwe kicking off the doubleheader. The free Fourth Fest Festival starts at 3 p.m. 2 world-class rugby matches. Then a fireworks finale that'll rattle your fillings. America's 250th One Epic Night. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
This segment on 104.3 The Fans brought to you by Williams Jewelers, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche.
Stream Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, Dover and Cecil, The Drive, and all your favorite shows on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan app. Powered by Advanced Tax Solutions. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. It's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Just processing the Val Nichushkin trade in real time, and if you're just joining us and haven't heard, Val has been traded to the Columbus Blue Jackets in what is seen as a salary dump. No players coming in return. A second-round pick in tomorrow night's draft, a third-round pick next year, a fifth-round pick in 2028, but they get off that money. They save just over $6 million, and that combined with the Ross Colton move from about a week ago, the Avs have cap space that is nearly $11 million now to go out and do something. And so now it's like, okay, where's the corresponding move? We'll get you guys involved here in just a second. But first, guys, the Brouhaha's final stop. Join us Friday, June 26th. That's tomorrow, 2 to 6 p.m. We're live at Arvada Beer Garden. All right, we're going back up north. Arvada Beer Garden, a relatively new spot. Hear nothing but amazing things about it. We would love to see you tomorrow at 2, or anytime you get off work. We'll be there until just about 6 o'clock. So Val Nichushkin moved in a cap savings move. We're all going to be, waiting with bated breath on what Joe Sakic is going to do next. Here's a little sampling from the RamosLaw.com text line, 303-713-1043. Val costs us maybe 1 or 2 championships. I can't go with the 2. I can't go with the 2.
Can you at least go with one of them?
I can say, yeah, it was a major factor. Major factor. Now, it's unfair in a sport where 20 guys play on the same night to pin it just on one person in a series that was so tight as the one against Seattle.
But also, we got to see and witness what it looks like when Val is at his best.
Yes.
You win a cup when Val's at his best, just like Nate Dogg and Kel and everybody else. He's another piece that you needed, and he wasn't there when you needed him the most. And I'm with the texture. Like, he definitely cost us 1 championship this year. If he would have just had his head on, we have another championship. We're hoisting that trophy, excited, and another parade, man.
Yeah, and the team was shaken. The team was shaken. And, man, I remember the tone from some of the players when talking about Val. There was some guys who were super sympathetic, and like if you've dealt with, or your family has dealt with addiction. I know both of our families has. You can maybe be more sympathetic, but sometimes not. Still. But if you haven't experienced it in your own life, but it's a team sport, and he let the guys down in a major, major, major way. So, yeah, I think you could form the argument that he directly impacted, not winning that second cup the year after they had won it, in trying to repeat. Someone else says the Avs are making moves while the Nuggets are sitting on their hands. We'll get back to that at the top of the hour. Someone else says, and put your name on it, we'll give you a shout out. Salary dumps are not necessarily something to get excited about. You guys love the action, whether or not it helps the team or keeps the team together. Stop celebrating, please. Are you hearing celebrating? Is that what you're hearing?
You didn't hear us say, yay, we're happy Val's gone, but it opens up more money, right? Now you have $10.1 million to get a couple other pieces in here that you need. We talked about, we need more depth on the blue line. We want to probably, I know what I want to do. I want to move Devon Taves, who's getting a little older, to the second pairing. Go get another young left defenseman to pair with Kel so that we can keep it rolling on the blue line. For Val has been here for a long time, and yet we only have won 1 championship with him.
Right.
It was time to move on, just like we talk about AG or even Cam Johnson. Like, this is sports. And if you're not producing at a high level, all right, a performance-based business, you're going to probably get cut or traded, and that's exactly what happened to Val.
Yeah, and they had cup aspirations. They got halfway to their goal, right? They didn't win a single game beyond the second round. So you are looking to change something. And Val, unfortunately, is mostly a shell of his former self.
There you go.
I mean, you're talking about a guy, like, guys, the Avs played 12 postseason games. Val had 4 points in 12 games. So once every 3 postseason games, he's contributing in a tangible way. That's not good enough. And it's not what it once was. It's not close to what it once was. The year they won the Cup, and let me see if 15 points in 20 games. He scored 9 goals in 20 games. Nearly every other night he was scoring. He had a postseason at one point in time where Val Nichushkin became one of 8 players in NHL history to score a goal in 7 straight postseason games. That's not even the second cousin of the Val that we were getting here in the last couple years. That's not to say, again, this is the ultimate 2 things are true. Phenomenal on your way to a cup run, arguably your best player, but a severe letdown beyond that, and someone who struggled with personal demons that we try to be sympathetic and understand, but also, acknowledge the larger, the team.
Exactly, and he burnt us way too many times where you're getting ready for a playoff game and he's not available. And it comes down to when you're dealing with addiction, you're hoping that person can stay clean, but you just don't know. You never know. You never know when you're going to get that call. And so if you're Sakic, you're always on edge. Is this going to be the day that you get a call that Val messed up again?
Right.
Are we going to get to the playoff, the postseason yet again, knowing that maybe he's doing well, you get that call, and now he's not available for the postseason? What is that going to do to your team again? What is that going to do to the fan base? So at some point, you have to make a decision for your team, for the fans.
Right.
And this is the decision to make where it's like, we're going to do a salary dump. We're going to get rid of Val. He's not playing his best hockey anymore. And you move on from there.
And I just have to say this. If Val put himself in a situation, if he screwed up one more time, he's done in the NHL forever. Forever. So could you imagine if it was next postseason and Val lets the team down, or better yet, it's the middle of the season and you're having a great season, cup aspirations, and I'm sure that's going to be the case again, and Val screws up again, and it's not the offseason where you can make moves, say it's the first day after the trade deadline, and your team is your team, and going into the so I wish Val the best. Val was in totality, you were a central part of a championship.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, you made a meaningful impact on the organization. But at the same time, I think this is looking through the right lens. This is good. Change was needed. The Avs need more of a shakeup. This team, we thought it was this juggernaut, this wagon, this steamroller, and it wasn't. Okay, they got steamrolled by a team who went on to lose. Right? Let's not forget. Every time the Avs have lost in the postseason, post-Cup, they've lost to a non-Stanley Cup champion. So moves need to be made. Joe Sakic is acknowledging that with his actions. And I would say, you
freed up $10.1 million. What is Sakic going to do with that? You have 10 draft picks now. So you're going to try to pair those draft picks to bring in another guy. So I'm excited to see what that looks like moving forward.
And I know a lot of people feel like this texter who didn't put their name on it, but they said, as much as I loved about Val during our cup run, it'll be a relief to not have to worry about another hiccup that could potentially hinder our chances at another cup run. And I think that is how a lot of people are thinking right now. Yeah, and it was well said. Okay, shifting gears. If you want to weigh in, maybe we can read a couple more on Val Nichushkin. Big news of the day, being shipped out to Columbus. The NBA draft came and went, and the TNT attached to the Nuggets never went off. What do we make of what they did and what's next? That's next.
The Nuggets went shopping for athleticism, experience, and depth in the NBA draft. Denver grabbed Arkansas forward Trevin Brazil, a 6'10" playmaker with elite-length, explosive athleticism. Then added Bryce Hopkins, a physical wing from St. John's who helped lead the Red Storm to Big East titles and brings toughness, rim pressure, and versatility. Are these second-round picks the next hidden gems to develop alongside Nikola Jokic? Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
You know that feeling, sitting at the kitchen table, staring at a stack of bills, wondering how you got here? Credit cards, car payments, subscriptions you forgot about. It all piles up. But here's the thing. If you own a home, you're sitting on the answer. American Financing can help you declutter your monthly bills into a single manageable payment. Their salary-based mortgage consultants look at your entire financial picture, not just one piece. All right? The average customer savings is $800 a month. You may delay 2 mortgage payments and may close in as fast as 10 days. Guys, there is never any upfront fees or obligation with American Financing. This is a family-owned lender, not one of those big banks where you're just a number. So pick up the phone and start that conversation at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or simply visit them online at AmericanFinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
When it's time to sell your home, you hope your agent knows the market, timing, pricing, interest rates, neighborhoods, staging open houses, understanding contracts, completing paperwork. Oh, and can actually help guide you on your big move. Don't hope, know. When you hire a Weichert agent, you can be sure you've got a partner who will guide you every step of the way, from listing to closing and everything in between. Weichert, dream, move, home. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Dan, I'm not looking to get rich, but I'm not sure what to do. It's something we hear a lot at 303 Law 4040 from people. They've been hurt. They just don't know what to do next. Should they talk to the insurance company? Who's going to pay their medical bills? What if they have to miss work? They don't want to call a lawyer, and they certainly don't want to sue anyone, but they just don't know what to do. Here, take one of our small town clients. He was seriously hurt on his neighbor's property. Tough as nails, salt of the earth guy, and all he was looking to do was the right thing. He said, Dan, I have to live in this town, and I want to be able to hold my head up high when I walk down the street. So if you're talking about suing my neighbor, I'm not interested. I explained that we probably wouldn't have to sue anybody, and we certainly weren't going to hurt his neighbor. In the end, we got him $1.5 million, and he could still hold his head up high in that small town. If you've been hurt, you don't have to feel guilty for calling 303 Law 4040. We are here to help and fight for what's fair. We don't farm you out to a call center. In fact, we give all of our clients our cell phone numbers. We hope you never need us, but save that number in your phone just in case. It's 303 Law 4040. That's 303 Law 4040.
Siltar Motors is loaded right now with certified pre-owned cars and trucks starting at $10,980. Everyone inspected, 90-day warranty, and a 5-day exchange. If you change your mind, any reason, done. Get the most for your trade-in at sthmotors.com. Takes 2 minutes and puts more money in your pocket. Shopping new? Ford and Lincoln employee pricing. You pay what they pay, thousands off. 66 years, family-owned, hundreds of vehicles. This is the deal you've been waiting for. sthmotors.com, Highway 36 in Wadsworth. Siltar Motors. Get everything you want out of a dealership.
1-877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Hey guys, your boy Stink here, and if you're a guy over 50 dealing with an enlarged prostate, you need to know about PAE, prostate artery embolization. It's minimally invasive, done through a tiny pinhole, and you're back home the same day. Most men who have PAE don't experience any sexual side effects associated with conventional prostate surgery. At Colorado Advanced Endovascular, their experienced team offers specialized prostate treatments with near zero impact on sexual function. Top-tier radiologists, boutique setting, personalized care in Lakewood. Go to coloradoae.com.
When it's sports, you love watching the pros.
If it's surgery, you definitely want the pros.
When you need a new roof, call Denver Roof Pros.
No matter if it hails, rains, or snows, nobody knows your roof like the Denver Roof Pros.
Hey, it's Zach here. Summer is here, and 5280 Exteriors is kicking it off with a huge June offer. Get free gutter guards when you purchase a whole house of siding. Lock in your project now and enjoy beautiful new siding before fall hits. 5280 Exteriors, the altitude of quality.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. Powered by Regen RX. It's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay. Leading off with the big story of the day, here's The Drive with Zach By and Denver, Colorado's own Phillip Lindsay.
1 hour in the books. Quicker than a New York minute.
Here we go.
Hanging out with you here on a Thursday, rolling downhill for the week. Can reach out and touch Friday. And, a lot of reaction on the RamosLaw.com text line to Val Nichushkin being traded to the Columbus Blue Jackets for 3 draft picks, a second, a third, and a fifth for tomorrow night, next year, and 2028.
So no players, just draft picks.
Yep, and so you can be sure that Joe Sakic is going to be looking for either to package some of these trades because they have or package some of these picks rather because they have 10 picks now. You're not going to pick 10 players. You just that's what they're not going to do. But so going out and probably more than likely it's viewed as a weaker free agent class. So if I had to guess right now, it'll likely be some form of trade. Free agency starts next week in the NHL, so it's gonna be a busy couple days, and it's been a busy couple days for the Avs after trading Ross Colton a week ago, trading Jack Drury yesterday, and today Val Nichushkin, a member of the Stanley Cup team from 22, out the door.
And Sakic is general manager right now. Joe Sakic, he's making moves. Now they might not be the sexiest moves, but he's doing what he needs to do to free up space, cap space, $10.1 million, added draft pick so that he can bring a couple guys in. My guessing is he'll re-sign a player or two, maybe someone like Kulak will be a guy that you bring back. You don't want Burns back. I don't really want Burns back either, although he's the Iron Man. We need to move on, get younger as well. I feel like we're talking about the Nuggets, get younger.
Right.
So, yeah, Joe Sakic is doing what he needs to do as of right now.
Someone says putting the loss to Vegas on Val is crazy. None of our guys showed up in that series. Again, sometimes I like, what are you hearing? Like, what are you hearing? Oh, my gosh. 1989.
Like I hear what I want to hear.
Dude, it's like, whoever said that? Exactly no one. Exactly no one said that. If you were going to hang one series on Val, and I would, it's the year after the Cup against Seattle because it rocked the system. It was so shocking to the system that would happen. And how he didn't get ill, right? How dramatic it was. And everything that went into that story in Seattle that is still, years later, hard to believe happened. Man. It is very dark.
Really, really dark. And it's like, this is why it's like, it sucks that Val's gone, but I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm sad that Val's gone. Because of, like, the stuff that we know off the ice. You tell me something like, hey, AG's going to leave. I'll be sad because AG and what he has brought to the community and everything else. For Val, I look at him like a player on the ice. He did a great job for us, but his time has come to an end. It's time to move on. I'm sorry.
So
that's how I feel.
It's pro sports.
Yeah.
Right? You were trying to win 16 games and win a championship. You won 8. You got halfway there. So it's clearly not good enough. You've fallen short for a presidential term here, right? 4 straight years you've fallen short. So, yeah, you need to shake some things loose and reimagine the team and get a little bit tougher, have a little bit more sandpaper to your DNA. And
that's what's winning championships right now.
That's right. In the NBA as well, right? It's the tough, physical, defensive-oriented teams that are winning. And I know you know this because you heard me say it a week ago. The year that the Avalanche won the Cup in 2022, it was the most offensive postseason going back to 1995. So the style that favored the Avs, when it was played that way, they thrived and won a championship. They dominated 16-4.
Yep.
16-4.
Straight domination.
But that year was unique. It's like when they decriminalized holding and Bowles is a all-pro.
Hey, now.
It's like
he gotten better now.
Well, in the landscape that was being played and decriminalized and allowed, your biggest weakness was no longer a weakness. Boom, all pro. In the year that the postseason was high flying and looked like 1995, you won it. And when it's back to how it is and the grit and grind nature of the NHL playoffs, you don't thrive in that setting. And so you have to respond in kind and accordingly to this scenario. So they are. We thought this was coming. We're going to talk about this today anyhow, right? So it came and it went, and we're sort of processing this as it broke during our at the very end of our second segment here in hour number 1. But we turn the page for now. All right, we will get back to it here. The NBA draft came and went. The TNT attached to the Nuggets never went off last night. in a way that I thought it was going to.
It was a dud.
In just some form, right? In just some form. The wick got wet, right? And Cam Johnson is still a Nugget. Aaron Gordon is still a Nugget. Jamal Murray is still a Nugget. Do I think that's going to be the case 2 weeks from now? I don't.
So then, but
I don't.
But Z, if you don't think that's going to be the case, then why in the hell did they not just blow it up when they could? Attach that first-round draft pick to Cam or AG, move up, all right, get a really good player in the first round that can contribute right away, not necessarily a starter, but coming off the bench as a rotational player. Why then, Z? I'm still questioning it because it's like you're saying that there's going to be some moves. Well, the moves would have already been made in the draft.
Traditionally, yes. But there is time. And I just if the Nuggets run it back, you'll be able to knock me over with a feather. And I'll just, you know what this feels like? It feels like when the Broncos didn't do anything in free agency. And everyone's freaking out. You know, it's the run it back Broncos, right? And
what in the world's going on?
And I just continue to maintain through that hysteria of saying, just wait a second. There's no way that this is it. There's no way this is it.
You also trust Sean and George, and you would bring that up. Hey, I trust Sean and George.
Yes.
They've done enough to get the benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
Can you say the same with John Wallace and Ben Tenzer? Can you please say the same? Tell me that, Z.
Yes, but with a different human being. Because John Wallace and Ben Tenzer are co-GMs. There is someone at the top of this organization. There is a president of basketball. That is Josh Kroenke.
You don't trust him either.
Yes, I do, in the way that pertains to this. It's not the traditional trust of like this guy has, built up the trust to do XYZ.
Mm-hmm.
The XYZ in this scenario, the trust that I think is built up is I know they're not going to spend $200 million in luxury tax. I know that. I think I know that. And if I'm wrong, I will stick both hands up in the air and say I was dead wrong.
Well, then there's going to be a lot of people at the station just around that need to do the exact same thing because everybody seems to be on the same page saying Josh Kroenke is not going to pay that luxury tax and he's going to start shipping off some core guys so he can get under the luxury tax.
And here's the thing, and I have to say this too. If you're not talking about this situation through that lens, you're doing this the wrong way. So if you're just talking basketball, hey, did you see that trade, man? Hey, Nuggets got to get aggressive. They need a big trade. Okay, explain it to me through the lens of the curriculum that is the NBA financial landscape. So I know what it is. I know what the bill is. It's $207 million. They're not paying it. Full stop. And again, I will literally crack an egg and put egg on my face.
Don't do it.
Phil, listen to me. This is not a bet. This is a promise. If the Nuggets run it back and they sign Payton Watson and they go into the second apron and they get hit with the repeater tax and they spend $207 million in luxury tax payments just for the right to turn around and pay another $250 million to the players and the bill for this coming year is $450 million, I will crack an egg and the yolk can stream down my face.
As you're mad, it's going to just be frying on that head of yours.
Dude, So you can't talk about the Nuggets as if the financial landscape doesn't exist. The NBA has made this a real constraint. So it's not fantasy basketball. Go out and do this. It's like, dude,
But see, you brought it up yesterday. They may not have no choice because it seems like if they were going to get something done, they would have got it done yesterday or the night before. And now they're in a situation where they didn't do it again with some second-round draft picks.
Right.
And so now somebody's just going to take on Aaron Gordon's contract or Cam Johnson's contract just because they want to? I don't know, Z. I'm starting to believe what you said yesterday where they may have no choice but to run it back.
Because they don't have partners to dance with.
Nobody wants to dance with Josh Kroenke and the Denver Nuggets. They don't know how to dance. Two left feet.
Dude, it's one of these things where that actually could. There is a scenario. Now, I don't think it's going to come to this. But there is a scenario where you literally are stuck and the rest of the league is frozen to a certain degree. Not everyone, right? We saw a trade with LaMelo and this and that, which unto itself is Minnesota is telling Denver what they think of Denver because they literally constructed a roster to beat Denver.
Yeah, now
they're disassembling it.
Yeah, they don't care anymore.
Right, because the Nuggets are less relevant, right? So, but it's one of these things where if it happens, you'll be able to knock me over with a feather. I'll be flabbergasted, and I will say to the cows come home, I was wrong. And here's the thing. That's the scenario that most people don't want because it's not good enough. So,
well, it's looking like the best option though, Z, is to run it back for us. When it comes to like winning as many games as possible, having a chance to win a championship. Because once you start to get rid of Aaron Gordon, let's just say Cam Johnson, who else are you going to bring back? You're not going to, because even if you do try to bring somebody back, it's going to be a lower guy, a rotational guy that doesn't cost as much as Cam Johnson and AG.
But that leads me to last night. Looking at what they did last night, it goes back to yesterday's show where I said I would really hope the calculus of what they did moving out of the first round and into the second round didn't have to do with finances. And it's just a couple $1 million, and you wouldn't think so, right? But we saw the Nuggets trade 3 second-round draft picks to get off $5 million of Reggie Jackson's money. It was a savings move to save money, all right? And I'm looking at this, and we talked about this yesterday. The difference in the NBA from a first-round draft pick to a second-round draft pick is the first-round pick is guaranteed, and it's slotted. Second-round pick, their salary is negotiated. So there's an incredible chance that if these two guys, Trevin Brazil, who they picked at 35th overall last night, and Bryce Hopkins, who got selected 49th overall, I can almost promise you they're making league minimum, the least amount that they can be paid, and they're likely one probably will be a two-guy, maybe a two-way guy, maybe Trevin Brazil, is on the end of the bench type deal, and he's just not going to cost a lot. And you're just
DeRon Holmes is like, come here, man, sit right next to me, because this is exactly what we're both going to be yet again. DeRon Holmes is not going to get the playing time, and Brazil's going to be right there with him.
So it's we do not. Last night, how they operated the last two nights doesn't give a major indication of what they're about to do.
So then what does it look like to you? Can you please explain that to me? Like, why did they do this? I'm asking, like, why did they decide? We thought they were going to attach people today or last night.
Yeah.
They didn't do it.
Right.
They picked up two guys that probably won't touch the court this year. Now, I don't know. Brazil might for a little while. Who knows? I said DeRon Holmes earlier because we drafted DeRon Holmes, and yet he's yet to just touch the court consistently.
Right.
And so we're banking on a second-round draft pick to do that when it's a rare sighting for a second-round draft pick to go out there. I know we got Jokic.
Yeah.
But Jokic is different.
He's a complete anomaly.
So, like, why did they do it?
I don't know. I don't have a clear answer. I don't know. You could have picked someone at 26 who represents way more than either of these two guys.
Just
right?
keep Reed.
Just keep Reed. And Reed, you read every draft profile, or just watch him play like I did at UConn. He is big, he's long, he's tough, he's physical, he's a defensive-minded player, he's aggressive. He represents exactly what the Denver Nuggets need. And it was so interesting to hear the press conference last night where John Wallace said, and I'm paraphrasing, but this is almost exactly what he said. He said, you have to be careful that you don't get excited and caught up in the draft. We had to remember to stick to our goal. I said, wow, that is so interesting. Going into the draft, you have to remind yourself to not get excited and not get draft happy. You have to remember what your goal was. So what was the goal?
The goal, to me, would get younger, bigger, faster, defensive-minded.
And I'm thinking when he said that in his mind's eye that it was always the plan to move out of the first round and draft 2 second-round picks on league minimum deals. And so I don't have proof of that. I'm not in John Wallace's head. Now he says, man, we thought about moving up for an elite point guard, but turns out we're not the only team in the league that wants an elite point guard. I don't think they had the firepower to move up, barring like a non-Jamal Murray trade.
I was going to say, they had something.
Yeah, one of these elite point guards. So I don't know what's next. I really don't. I really don't. If I had to guess, it's the same thing that I thought was going to happen, is that they're going to try to get off salary. But the one thing that I hope doesn't happen is that you can't trade these guys and you don't have the assets to attach them and then move on. And the mechanism of getting below the luxury tax and staying out of the second apron is to let Peyton Watson move on.
Oh, they're not going to let Payton Watson move on.
Well, we'll see, because last night Ben Tenzer was asked about it, and he said, we think we're in a good spot, and we hope that this is going to work out. You hope? He's a restricted free agent. You're in the driver's seat. There should be no hope involved. You get to match any offer sheet that he gets. But when he used the word hope last night, I said, ooh. And so I hope that doesn't happen, to use hope myself. I hope that doesn't happen because Peyton Watson represents more than I could ever have imagined 2 years ago to the Denver Nuggets future.
He represents the future. He represents young, faster, defensive-minded, what you need, a guy that's a two-way player that can score, turn around, play some dog defense, length. That's what you need if you're going to win in today's game, period. So I don't know what in the world's going on, and I don't want to sit here and say it's going to be a gap year, but it's looking like it's going to be a gap year. And I just wonder what in the hell Jokic is thinking. That everything is just good, it's just all gravy, and I'm just going to sit here and we're going to take our lumps this next year for 82 games, and I'm going to get banged up, and I'm going to be just fine, and then we're going to go all in that next year, which is still a risk. That's a lot, Z, to ask from a man that wants to win another championship.
But also remember, there's no team that can pay Jokic like the Nuggets can because he's theirs. And the NBA has it set up where when he's your own, you can give him millions and millions and millions more than anyone else.
But when is enough? When you have the money and you don't really need the money anymore. Like, yeah, it's great. I already have generational wealth. I'm talking about Jokic.
Yeah.
I wish I had.
Yeah.
What more do you want? Just to have?
I'm not sure. He could have signed the extension last year, but he waited and made $50 million more for himself.
Well, he may wait again because it's like, do I really want to be here?
There's actually a scenario where that's true. Because I think if he waits, he can actually make a little bit more. If I'm not mistaken. And so we'll see, And he said, I want to be a Nugget, forever, and I believe him. But then the follow-up question was, so you're going to sign it, right? When they put it in front of you, he said, I want to be a Nugget forever. So we'll see. I think he will be a Denver Nugget forever, but we'll see, till the ink dries, and we'll see. What they actually did last night, Trevin Brazil, they drafted a near 6'11" player who flies around with dunk contest level athleticism, loads of potential, right? He can make defensive plays at the rim. I mean, the guy's highlight reel looks like, you know who he reminds me of? A couple guys. He reminds me of JaVale McGee, a young JaVale McGee.
Ooh, okay, that's a good one.
Now, he's an inch shorter, but JaVale McGee, when he was coming out of wherever he played, maybe Nevada, I think maybe, whatever. When he was coming out of college, he was so spry and so long. Now, McGee's about 1.5 inches bigger than Brazil, but a young JaVale McGee, it was like, wow, I am not used to seeing a body type like that with that level of athleticism. He reminds me also a little bit of Jackson Hayes, who just, when he takes off, it's just like, whoa, that guy just shot to the ceiling. He's a freak of nature physically, but as I talked about in our first segment, there's a reason that he's 6'10" and has a 42-inch vertical and wasn't drafted in the first round.
Yeah.
And so the word on him is there's major questions about his motor, all right? He has a lack of natural feel for the game of basketball. He's a highlight when he gets a step and has a chance to explode.
He's more of like a developmental player.
Definitely. I mean, we're talking about a guy who's nearly 6'11" and has a 42-inch vertical that wasn't all SEC or all SEC defense. Yeah. So there's real flaws here. And I think that the Nuggets would have been in a much better position with Reed Jr. out of UConn, first-team All-Big East, arguably best player on the best team in college for the last couple seasons, leading scorer, leading rebounder, leading block shot. But I don't think that was their goal. When he talks about our goal, we can't get excited and we have to stick to our goal. I think their goal was always to move back into the second round and fill multiple bench spots with league minimum players.
Draft and develop. I can't be mad at that. Young, rangy, athletic, and you get to draft, you get to develop him, and maybe he turns out like Peyton Watson in a couple years.
So, not to give you too much pushback on the young part, but he's 23, and by the season, he'll be 24 as a rookie in the NBA.
Yeah.
He's almost like an anti-rookie.
I have to remember that. I have to remember it's the NBA.
He's the same age as Peyton Watson, and Peyton Watson is up for a contract.
Yeah.
I mean, so, now, again, I'm going to just try to be optimistic about Trevin Brazil. There is things to like, all right? I think his goal for his rookie season, I wrote down 3 things. Learn to play with more urgency, okay? His motors is in question by everyone who evaluates him.
Which is insane. You still get drafted and people question your motor. Like, the easiest thing you can do is just go out there and give effort.
Yes, Phil. And if you didn't give it on a possession-by-possession basis when you're trying to get to the NBA, The chances that you unlock it in the NBA, we'll see. But I think that's goal number one. Brother, if you don't play as hard as you can on every possession, this league is going to eat you up and spit you out.
He'll be in the G League.
He'll be in the G League. He'll be in France. So that's number one for me. Number two, create second chance points. The Nuggets need a rebounder. This guy flies around. And if you just dedicate yourself to defensive rebounding and offensive rebounding and narrow what you're trying to do as a basketball player and focus on playing as hard as I can on every possession, impact the game on the boards using my God-given gifts. The only reason I'm here is because of my God-given gifts. How can I maximize those? So playing with more urgency, creating second chance points, and honestly develop a lob chemistry with Jokic, because Jokic has never played with an athlete this size. And so I think if he focuses on just those three things, and I don't know how much he will be, it'll be a fantastic rookie season to build on.
And I love how you said, hey, just focus on one thing. Focus on just rebounding offensively and defensively. You talked about that with CB at the beginning of all this.
You're on it.
Just focus on what you can control, what you can do right now, and then build off of it as you go on.
Yep.
All right, and we're still waiting to see if CB can build off of his game, come up with a way to shoot the ball, shoot the three-point shot, take it one step at a time with this young man, Brazil.
Yes, and the reason why Christian Brown was on the floor as a rookie, the reason Christian Brown was playing in the NBA Finals as a rookie was because his focus was so narrow. It was the only way I can be out here is I have to play the best defense I possibly can, play as hard as I can on every single possession, do what I can in transition. Like if this guy, if this kid Brazil is in transition, I mean, he could be a problem. And so when Christian was doing that stuff and not trying to expand his game, he was the best version of himself. And so I think he's gotten in some trouble when he's tried to expand.
Paid a lot of money.
It did. But when he's tried to expand his game, he becomes you lose some of the hallmarks of why you're out there in the first place.
Yeah.
So that's Trevin Brazil, and then we'll talk a little bit more about Bryce Hopkins, the 49th pick, who probably won't play for the Nuggets anytime soon. There's things that I like about him, and I'll share a little bit later. John Hollinger. Fantastic and long-standing draft analyst. He said, well, actually, let me quote Ben Gulliver of ESPN first. He said about Brazil, he said there's more sizzle than steak to Brazil's game. He's a high flyer who never put it all together in 5 years of college. So he's a project. All second-rounders are projects. All second-rounders are projects. Jokic is so rare. I said this yesterday, but there's a reason that no second-round draft pick ever won the MVP until Nikola Jokic.
Yeah.
Basketball, typically with prospects, you can see them coming from a mile away. It's not like football, right, where someone like Josh Allen is in JUCO. Like, we knew Victor Wembanyama when he was 15, LeBron when he was damn near 14. Kobe at such a young age. So Dwight Howard when he was a freshman, in Atlanta. So we'll keep our eye on this young man, root for this young man, Trevin Brazil, but they're not one Trevin Brazil away from winning 14 more postseason games.
No, they got a lot of work to do.
A lot of work to do.
A lot.
Okay. I wouldn't expect a new episode of PS2's podcast anytime soon. Holy guacamole. We go inside the crazy details of an NFL star, theft, armed robbery, and kidnapping. Coming up next.
The Denver Nuggets are staring at a crossroads. So what does this mean for the core, the future, and the window that was supposed to stay wide open?
I haven't heard a good plan yet from anyone. I love this stuff. I cannot think of a rock solid plan right now. I haven't heard a rock solid plan, and there's smart people that I listen to locally and nationally that talk about this stuff at a high level. And I'm saying this.
104.3 The Fan.
Progressive provides protection for your boat and other outdoor vehicles so you can explore new things.
Oh, I can finally try pesto.
We meant like water skiing.
I've just never had pesto.
Or maybe take the boat somewhere new.
I mean, is pesto spicy or sweet? Oh, guess we'll find out, right?
Right. Bundle home or auto insurance with your boat, RV, or motorcycle and stay protected with Progressive while you explore.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not ready for pesto.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
This summer, the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich and Pineapple Dragon Fruit and Sprite are back at Chick-fil-A.
Girl, it's back. We've been waiting. I love that honey pepper pimento sandwich.
And that pineapple dragon fruit and Sprite is everything. It's got that razzle-dazzle that makes you stop and say, okay, wait a minute.
I love the creaminess of the pimento cheese. It's savory, it's bold, it's flavorful.
Our faves are back. High five, girl.
Which fan favorite will you choose? Real customers paid for their testimonials.
Did you really think Pure Talk was just going to sit back and watch America turn 250 years old without doing something awesome to celebrate? Of course not. That's why they're raising $250,000 for America's Warrior Partnership by the end of July. America's Warrior Partnership is on the front line of preventing veteran suicide. They've had extraordinary success, and here's how you can help. When you switch your cell phone service to Pure Talk this month, you'll be invited to round up to support America's Warrior Partnership. No pressure, but if you do, Pure Talk will match your donation dollar for dollar. And to further celebrate 250 years of our extraordinary democratic republic, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for just $34.99 a month. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. That's pound 250, say Mike Rowe. And happy birthday to us.
It's hot out there. Stoke here from my team, ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Are you ready for one of the hottest summers we've ever seen? It might be time to cut your air conditioner and draft a new high-performing air conditioning system that will keep you and your home cool and comfortable. There are amazing financing options and incredible rebates too, only from the best ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
Behind every door is a story. Let Weichert guide yours with expert advice and peace of mind for all of your real estate needs. Weichert, the bright choice. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Your roof's the single most important part of your house. Snow and high winds can damage your roof. Don't trust your roof to any fly-by-night roofing companies. Call the professionals at Golden Spike for a free roof inspection and tell them you heard about it on The Fan. They're a locally owned company and a Team Dave Logan member.
Call Golden Spike Roofing when your roof needs a fix. 303-942-1386. Golden Spike Roofing.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit TremfyaRadio.com.
Colorado's largest fireworks show, 22 minutes that absolutely blow the roof off. July 4th at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. But first, the main event. Team USA takes on Portugal in the inaugural World Rugby Nations Cup with Tonga versus Zimbabwe kicking off the doubleheader. The free Fourth Fest Festival starts at 3 p.m. 2 world-class rugby matches. Then a fireworks finale that'll rattle your fillings. America's 250th. One epic night. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
Non-stop rodeo action at Cheyenne Frontier Days. Every ride and every run counts. It's sudden death. Move on or ride off into the sunset. Cheyenne Frontier Days, the wildest ride in the West.
Want to partake in our contests? Check out the rules at DenverSports.com. Listen up, Denver. This hour's keyword is flyout, Flyout. Text flyout to 303-713-1043 right now for your chance to win a $250 gas card. That's flyout to 303-713-1043.
By texting, you agree to receive an automated marketing message from Denver Sports 1043 The Fan. Message and data rates may apply. For complete rules or to enter the keyword online, visit www.denversports.com/keyword.
Every day at 3:30, the drive comes off the top rope to hit you with a 1, 2, 3.
Finally, The Rock has come back to Denver.
Tape your wrists, stretch your spandex, and oil your hair. Here's Zach and Phil with today's 3 count on the drive.
All right, let's come off the top rope with it! All righty. I would not expect a new episode of Pat Surtan's podcast anytime soon.
Nope.
Oh, doctor.
What in the world is going on with people these days, EB? I know it's always going on, but damn.
It's insane. You know, I said going into the break, we go inside the crazy details of an NFL star, theft, armed robbery, and kidnapping. This story is insane with Terrion Arnold, former Crimson Tide and teammates with PS2 and podcast partners with PS2. This story is nuts. So police say, all right, that this story began after Terrion Arnold and several others had property stolen from an Airbnb rented in Largo in early February, okay? Investigators say Terrion Arnold believes some of the eventual victims of this case were responsible, even though the police later determined they were not involved in that theft whatsoever, all right? So on February 3rd, police say Arnold and a friend, who investigators say helped coordinate an alleged setup, directed 2 women to contact one of the victims and lure him into an apartment in Tampa. Remember, the victim, Terrion Arnold believes, stole stuff from his Airbnb. Yeah. Wasn't true. So they're hunting someone who has no idea what frame of reference they're talking about. So around midnight on February 4th, investigators say the victims arrived at the apartment. Once they entered a bedroom, 2 of Arnold's friends, who had been hiding in a closet, jumped out, grabbed the victims, held them at gunpoint, and attacked them. Investigators say the incident was streamed to Arnold. Yes, the investigators say the incident was streamed to Arnold and 2 friends while they were traveling to the apartment. So Arnold's having his buddies hunt these guys, having female friends of his lure them into an apartment, and then having friends jump out of a closet, beat him up, hold him at gunpoint. Arnold and his 2 friends were traveling to the apartment, watching it on a stream, so probably FaceTime.
Yep.
Police also say there was a group chat involving the defendants and that Arnold was giving the directions through the chat while the attack was happening. So he's orchestrating this whole thing. About an hour later, police say that Arnold arrived at the apartment with 3 other friends and that he directed them to go inside while the robbery was still going on. Investigators say property was stolen from the victims during this attack, and then close to 2 o'clock in the morning, police say the victims were escorted out of the apartment by armed suspects and forced into their vehicles before leaving the scene. So the victims later reported the incident to Tampa police and identified the suspects. After search warrants were executed, and the investigation continued. Detectives arrested multiple people in the case over the following weeks. Police say Terrion Arnold was the primary conspirator in the alleged robbery and kidnapping plot. He turned himself in last night and is now facing 4 counts of kidnapping and 4 counts of armed robbery. He could serve up to life in prison.
I'll tell you what, my man's done with the NFL. Like, it's right there. There's no Harvey coming to save you. You literally did this, and you were going to hurt those people. And they weren't even the right people.
Did hurt those people.
You did hurt those people. You think you're a mobster, and now your life is almost over. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be life, but this is crazy, Z.
It really is. I mean, a star cornerback out of Alabama, first-round pick in 2024 for the Lions. Guys, the image just came out a couple minutes ago from TMZ of him in front of a judge. Judge says, no bond. You're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere.
You're locked up, baby.
And seeing him in that orange jumpsuit, and actually, I think he had something green on.
He had like a green, I don't know, like a cutoff. I don't know if that's part of the jumpsuit.
I'm not sure, but he's surrounded by criminals waiting to be heard.
Yep.
You know, I don't know, Phil. Like,
and you said earlier, you know, PS2 is not going to be having a podcast here with my man anytime soon. At all.
Incredible.
It's done.
Incredible. I mean, this is the worst kind of story. Terrion Arnold seems terrible.
Yeah.
Seems terrible.
For somebody to go and do that, man.
It's hard to process, but this story is everywhere right now, and it's a big deal and a horrible story of someone being basically hunted who has no idea why they're being hunted and kidnapped. Incredible. All right, next in the 3 count.
1, 2.
All right, what'd you make of this? If they weren't already passed, and they were, another team might have passed the Nuggets in the West. The Timberwolves trading for LaMelo Ball and Josh Green, while the Hornets received Naz Reid, a 2033 first-round pick, 3 first-round pick swaps, and 2 second-round picks. The Wolves' starters moving forward appear to be LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Ayo Dosunmu, Jaden Daniels, and Rudy Gobert, with Terrence Shannon Jr., remember him driving to the basket and dunking on fools?
Oh, yeah.
Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Green as the rotational pieces off the bench.
Do you like it?
I kind of do.
I was going to say, I kind of like it too.
I kind of do.
Like, they gotten younger.
Yeah.
I added LaMelo Ball, who's actually, like, I like LaMelo's game, and my man has a shot on him.
He has really grown on me.
And what does that look like pairing him up with Ant-Man?
Yeah, who moves off the ball now for,
yes.
like, you know, outside of, you know, playing with Mike Conley and stuff. He's on the ball so much. It's going to look and feel different.
I mean, like I said earlier, they're young, high-flying. You still have Gobert sitting right there for defense. You still have a really good bench. I mean, what it's telling me is the Wolves are not worried about the Denver Nuggets anymore.
No.
They don't care about getting bigger and matching with Jokic. They care about, like, the new, getting young, getting some scorers, helping Ant-Man out that way, competing with the Spurs, competing with the Thunder. That's what it's telling me, ZB.
Yeah, and LaMelo, man, he can play. This guy can play. LaMelo has averaged 20 points or more for 5 straight seasons. And I didn't like what I saw him coming, out of, when he was in high school and some of the stuff and the stuff with his dad just kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
The TV show kind of is like, man, I don't really like this kid. He's so immature.
Very immature.
That's kind of why you don't want to judge right now. It's a TV show. He's young. He has a lot of attention on him. But he seems like he's growing up a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's growing up a little bit. He's just 24 years old. He's been in the league for 6 years. So think about that. LaMelo's been in the league for 6 years, and he's the same age as the guy the Nuggets drafted last night.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. It is crazy. Yeah, I mean, I think they're it's just more. It's just more. The West is evolving so fast.
The West is getting better. And where are the Nuggets?
Portland's getting better. Utah, I said a couple days ago, Utah is going to be a playoff team. Mark my words. I mean, Dante asked a question here behind the scenes. It's like, do the Utah Jazz have a better starting lineup than the Nuggets? We can take a closer look at it. But, yeah, things are evolving very quickly in the NBA's Western Conference. Next in the 3 count.
1, 2.
All right, so how about this? The Rockies, who are now no longer on pace to lose 100 games. No longer on pace to lose 100 games. Pretty remarkable turnaround year over year. Obviously, the turnaround's not complete. You're trying to move a giant cruise ship. It's going to take a little bit. But they're hosting, I don't think I've heard of this, their dad's trip. Have they been doing this and I just missed it in the past? But they're hosting a dad's trip for the Rockies as they head to Minnesota for a 3-game set tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. The team account, I don't know if you saw this, tweeted a picture of all the dads on the tarmac of the private plane. And so, there's, Kyle Freeland, and his dad. So, if your dad is eligible to come on the trip, have you ever heard of something like this in pro sports?
No. Usually it's something that you do with the team, but the dads or the moms being involved, in this case it's the dads. I mean, that's pretty cool. It's unique. It's fun for the dads. But no, this is something new. This is the first time I've heard that with the Rockies too, by the way.
Yeah, very interesting. I kind of like it. Okay, shifting gears. We saw a major domino fall today in Denver sports. Val Nichushkin, traded. We'll continue to react to that story coming up next.
With another NBA franchise icon being traded, should that concern Nuggets fans when it comes to Nikola Jokic?
If there's one lesson to take away from this monster Giannis deal, franchise icons can be moved. And the franchise icon can get to a point where the franchise is crumbling around him and you have no choice but to move him like the Bucks just did. And it's a cautionary tale about if you're the Nuggets, handle up on your business.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here from my friends at Xfinity. Usually when something sounds way too good to be true, it is. Imagine someone says you can cut your mobile bill in half. Sounds like a fantasy, but with Xfinity Mobile, it's a real deal. Because when you have Xfinity Internet, you can cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year, no commitment. That's a lot of streaming, sharing, scrolling, and whatever else you can do with your phone, all for half the price and none of the commitment. What that means, you'll save big over Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. Now all you have to do is think about how you'll spend all that extra money. Call 1-800-XFINITY, go to XfinityMobile.com, or visit a local or one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes and fees extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rate supply.
So, you're ready to propose, huh?
Yeah, man. She's definitely the one.
What are we thinking about the ring? I got my wife's at Hellsberg. I couldn't recommend a better jeweler.
I could use some help with that.
Man, go to Hellsberg. I had no idea how many details you need to consider. Did you know you can get a natural or lab-grown diamond? I didn't. Figure out what she wants. Trust me, they'll make it happen.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Do you know the final score, but not your credit score? Are you tracking your team's stats, but not your own spending? Are you breaking down trades, but not your budget? Do you know your team's record, but not your own net worth? Are you following every game, but ignoring your accounts? I've been there. Trust me. That's why I like BOK Financial and what they're doing with Let's Talk Money. It's about paying a little more attention to the financial stuff that we all tend to avoid, and I'm guilty. Visit BOKFinancial.com to learn more. Let's talk money. BOK Financial. Member FDIC. Conditions apply.
Done right kitchens, baths, counters and floors, finished basements, windows and doors. Our 8% scheduling incentive and bank financing to ask about make a great time to call 800-362-8370 or drhi.com.
I'm Rob Wilhite of the Wilhite Law Firm. A lot of new firms aren't even from Colorado, but we are. For 47 years, we've known Colorado law, we've fought for our neighbors, and we won for our community. If you've been injured, call 303-GOOD-LAW.
Hey, it's Zach here. Are you seeing cracks in your home's drywall or foundation? Call Homestrong. Their highly qualified technicians provide free inspections and quotes. With 20-plus years experience in the foundation repair and concrete industry, one thing is certain. You'll never go wrong with Homestrong.
Water is essential to life.
Humans are 60% water.
Water carved the Grand Canyon and it pummels boulders into sand.
But a little water leak in your roof can cause mold and deterioration of your home.
Let Denver Roof Pros stay on top of your your roof with our preventative roof service plans to prolong your roof's life and protect your home and the people you love.
Check it out at DenverRoofPros.com.
No matter if it hails, rains, or snows, nobody knows your roof like the Denver Roof Pros.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hoped it'd go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. 'Cause I never met a clog.
Cox did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. And with that money, she decided to treat herself to an anti-aging red light mask. Will she look like a horror movie villain every night? Yes. Will her boyfriend Kevin be scarred for life? That's certainly a risk. But it's Amy's savings, and if she's willing to risk her relationship for smooth, wrinkle-free skin, well, bye-bye, Kevin. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Guys, are you looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get Advanced Hair's breakthrough one-day treatment during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during Advanced Hair's best offer ever. For details and a free consultation, call 720-459-HAIR or at advancedhair.com.
One Wheel Broncos talk. Cecil Lammy and Andrew Mason bring the heat on Orange and Blue Today. The most passionate intelligence and in-depth Broncos coverage in the game. Weekdays at 5 p.m. on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan YouTube channel. Hit subscribe at Denver Sports 104.3 and never miss another take. Orange and Blue Today, powered by Ramos Law, official injury law firm partner of the Denver Broncos. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
We got the news in hour number one of our show and really pivoted our plan. And it's time to return to the conversation. The Colorado Avalanche have traded Val Nichushkin.
Traded him away.
We knew this was in the works. We were going to actually talk about it this very segment this morning when we put together the rundown. And actually, so I'll take you behind the curtain. The tease is still here written on the paper. It says we've already seen 2 dominoes fall for the Avs, but the next one could be the biggest yet. And that was in reference to Ross Colton getting traded, Jack Drury getting traded yesterday, and hearing the whispers from people like Elliot Friedman and others, just talking about the potential of Val getting moved. And today it happened. He got dealt to the Columbus Blue Jackets just a couple hours ago. And in exchange, coming back to Colorado, is a second-round draft pick tomorrow night, a third-round draft pick this time next year, and a fifth-round draft pick in 2028. I can't believe we're saying years like 2028.
I know, it's time flies, man.
Yeah. So no players, no first-round picks. If that sounds like, man, they didn't get a lot in return. They didn't. They purposefully didn't. It is almost by definition a salary dump here.
It's definitely a salary dump, and it was Sakic saying, hey, man, I need help from Columbus. I need help. You're going to get a really good player. You guys are in a situation where you're trying to win right now. You have a lot of cap space. I want to say, Drew said it earlier, Columbus has around $32 million in cap space. So they're able to take on Val's contract, and you get some draft capital back if you're the Avs, but also you get $6.1 million off the books. This is what it's about. Dumping salary, and then you're trying to find a couple really solid players that you can, put in there to replace Val and also get younger on the blue line, right? Second pairing, first pairing. Maybe you're trying to bump Devon Taves down to the second pairing. Mm-hmm. If you're going to do that, you need another left wing.
Left shot winger,
yeah, or a defenseman.
Left defenseman. Yes.
To go with him, and,
yes.
and you move that way. So it's going to be interesting to see what Sakic does moving forward. Obviously, he got some more draft capital with the draft picks, and he's going to try to trade for a couple other players, my guess.
Yeah, 10 picks now, tomorrow night. 10. They didn't have any
No.
3 weeks ago. Now they have 10 picks. Now, they're not going to pick 10 players, of course. They're going to package those, and we'll see what it looks like because the free agent class and free agency opens next week. Now, there's potential they could sign a free agent. But I would say I think the more likely scenario is attaching some of these picks in a trade.
Yeah.
And so, man, on one hand, it's like, you know, I'm thinking of Val and just the journey that was the Val Nichushkin story. And
where do you start with that one?
It had more twists than Lombard Street in San Francisco. I mean, it's just from the highs of the highs, him being arguably the best player on a road to a Stanley Cup. That's Nathan McKinnon's words. Nathan McKinnon said he was their best player, despite Cale Makar winning the Conn Smythe. And I always talk about it, but it was one of those teams, right? And you probably already know what I'm going to say right now. It was like Nate's the best player, but Cale is the most well-rounded as a two-way defenseman, but Val might be the most important. Like, we used to have those conversations, and Val was brilliant on the Cup run. And I remember after they won the Cup, I remember sitting at Brothers Barbecue in a war room, and we were debating whether Val could be, a top 5 player in the NHL. That's where we were with Val Nichushkin. And since then, it's been one of two things, mostly. It's been one of two things mostly. Incredible disappointment with personal decision-making and addiction, and it's very serious, and you try to be as sympathetic as possible, but also acknowledge the greater team at play. And then also when he got his head straightened on through rehab, and then he screwed up again and had the big boy suspension. He's got 2 strikes on him. When he did come back and get his head screwed on, he just was half the player that he was, Phil.
Never the same. Never the same. And this is a performance-based business. You talk about hockey, football, basketball. It's about the performance on the court, the ice, the football field. So in Val's case, he wasn't good enough by the end here, and we needed him to be the same version he was when we won the championship or close to it. And so for Sakic, what do? You have to make a major shakeup.
Yeah.
You have to try to make at least a shakeup at this point. You didn't win it when we thought it was cup or bust, where I thought it was cup or bust. Now you have to start trying to change pieces, and you decided that you want to get rid of Val. I'm okay with it because now you get rid of Val, you free up $6.1 million. You got rid of Ross Colton, you freed up $4 million. Bring in a couple guys, rotational players that can come in and help out because the window is still wide open. It's just not going to be with Val.
I don't know if it's wide open still.
You don't think it's wide open?
I think it was wide open in 2021 and 2022. I still think it's open now. I just don't know if it's wide open. They're aging. The group is aging. They're kind of like the Nuggets in a lot of ways.
So how many years would you put on the Avs right now? My take is if it's still 2 years, that's wide open. You still got 2 years to make this happen.
2 years is wide open? 2 is just one more than one.
I mean, that's better than one.
It is better than one. 3 is better than 2.
Okay.
And here's a kicker. 4 is better than 3.
Yeah, there we go.
I would say
was it 3 years?
I'd say 3-4 years. Yeah.
And that's so it's 3-4 years now wide open.
And I'd say 3. I think 4 is just looking too far into the future.
Okay,
I'd say 3.
If you got 3 yards on a guy in your receiver, that's wide open in the league.
That is wide open. That's
Cortland Sutton versus Riley Moss right there.
Yes, in mandatory minicamp, just to drop it.
Yeah,
it's you need a shakeup.
Mm-hmm.
You tried to win 16 postseason games. You got halfway there, right? You didn't really come close to the Stanley Cup. You didn't win a single game beyond the second round. So it was a dramatic exit. And much like with the Nuggets, I think you need a dramatic response. You moved Mikko a year ago. You move Val now. I think you try to aim for the team to be a little bit more blue collar, a little bit more of that sandpaper in their DNA.
A little bit more grit to you.
Yeah. And so the year that they won the Cup in 2022, it was the most explosive postseason since 1995. Okay? So when it was that landscape of hockey, you won. You were dominant, actually, 16-4. Since then, you haven't come close. First, second round exits. Don't win a game past the second round this year. So you needed something like this. So appreciate Val for what he did on the Cup run, but I'll no longer be holding my breath about his eligibility and any of that stuff.
What's next for Val, right? That's what we would sit here and think, like, is he going to be ready and available come postseason? Well, now he's not here, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. All right, shifting gears here. We'll circle back to Val shortly, but shifting gears, the Broncos will have to make a call on 6 different players in the not-so-distant future. Who's the most likely to be back, and who's the least likely to be back? We'll try to answer those questions next.
The Colorado Avalanche continue reshaping their roster. Jack Drury is headed to Nashville in a trade that creates more flexibility for Joe Sakic and the Avs front office. What does this move mean for Colorado's offseason plans? And who's next? Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Hey guys, it's Mark Schlereth. I just made one of the best decisions of my life. I got rid of my glasses. I went to Cutarelli Vision and had refractive lens exchange, RLE. I wore glasses for distance vision, but I got to that inevitable point in life where I was always needing those reading glasses just to do about anything, and half the time I couldn't find them. Seeing menus, texting, reading my computer, or studying film, it was a struggle. But now I see the world perfectly, near and far, without any glasses, thanks to Cutarelli Vision RLE, the perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the cherry on top. You'll never develop a cataract. Dr. Cutarelli is Colorado's most experienced with over 90,000 vision correction procedures. You can trust him to know if it's the right time for you and RLE. Schedule your free Zoom consultation at coloradorle.com. Cutarelli Vision, RLE, no readers, glasses, or contacts, or cataracts. coloradorle.com.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Hey everybody, Cecil Lammy here from my friends at SodaDietAndNutrition.com. 866-800-SODA is the phone number. And 5 years ago, I lost 60 pounds. 60 pounds gone, lost forever, and never coming back. Why? Because of the dynamic diet that their nutritionist specifically trained, customized a dynamic diet for each person like they did for me. They can do it for you as well. Everyone has different food sensitivities, responses, weaknesses, lifestyle habits, and behaviors, so a one-size-fits-all approach doesn't work. Dynamic Diet highlights that personalized approach, and it's really that personal touch that takes soda and puts them over the top. Online, SodaDietAndNutrition.com. 60 pounds down 5 years ago, and I've never gained it back, and those 60 pounds came off naturally. There's no mystery pills, no chemicals in my body. I'm not giving myself a shot every day. I'm eating the right things at the right time every single day, because of SodaDietNutrition.com, soda is, everybody say it with me, they're state of the art.
In Colorado, relationships matter. That's why professional contractors across the Front Range choose Western Pacific for doors and millwork. For 35 years, this family-owned, locally operated supplier has delivered quality products, next-day delivery, and quick will-call service that keeps builders on schedule. From new construction to remodels, their experienced team is committed to helping contractors succeed. Visit GoWestPack.com. Western Pacific, local ownership, professional expertise built for Colorado contractors.
My father started Williams Jewelers in 1947 as a humble little neighborhood jewelry shop, and I opened our Cherry Creek North store in 1973. I'm Bruce Williams.
And I'm Michelle Williams. I literally grew up here in the jewelry business, grading diamonds and gemstones and designing custom jewelry for families just like yours.
Here at Williams Jewelers, you'll find our curated collections, including Hearts on Fire, Liga Bahar, Sloan Street, Mastaloni pearls, and dozens more.
And a diamond and bridal department with the latest engagement ring styles and wedding bands from Tacori, A. Jaffe, and Gabriel & Company.
Add to that Tag Heuer sporting watches and pre-owned Rolex timepieces, all at the guaranteed best prices in Colorado.
At Williams Jewelers, we're proudly old school Cherry Creek North, where people and sweet puppies are always welcome.
And where you'll always be treated just like our father would.
Like family.
Williams Jewelers, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
The official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche.
Questions about youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit organization, develops better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. Info at positivecoach.org.
This segment on The Fan is brought to you by Homestrong, Colorado's foundation repair and concrete experts.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. Powered by Regen RX. It's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay. You're listening to The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
All right, halfway home here on a Thursday. Appreciate you guys rocking with us. The first 2 hours have absolutely flown by. 2 more left. We'll be at Arvada Beer Garden tomorrow for a live show, the final stop of our brouhaha. We would love to see you. This has been very, very fun, and we love seeing listeners that come out and support us, the familiar faces, but we love to meet new ones as well. We're going to do our show live tomorrow, 2 to 6. Arvada Beer Garden, a newer spot that I hear nothing but awesome things about. Real quick, Ecuador has just upset Germany in the World Cup 2-1. And to say that it is jubilation and elation on behalf of the Ecuadorian players and fans would be the biggest understatement. I don't know if I've ever seen a team with so much joy just jumping on one another, crying. The people in the stands are crying, the embracing. I mean, it is unbelievable, and it reminds me of why I love sports.
Yeah, this is what it's all about. And for Ecuador, they needed this win to move on, and now they're moving on to the next stage because of what they did today. So, like, man, it's about the pride of your country, man, and being able to still be in it. It's like they won the World Cup.
Yeah, literally, that's actually
my guess
what it
is
looks
they probably won't win the World Cup. We know that.
No.
But this is fun to watch, man. It's fun to see them smile. It's fun to see them interact. They work so hard for these moments.
D, I'm curious what the you got something in your mouth? You're not eating back there. I know you're not eating. No, you're not eating behind the glass.
Come on now. You're smacking.
We need to find out what the odds were of this. So if we can do a little research retroactively and like what you would have made on a $20 bet on Ecuador to beat Germany outright.
You must have bet on
in
Ecuador,
the World Cup. No, I didn't. I wish I did. Okay, so the Broncos have to make a call on 6 different players in the not so distant future. Who is most likely to be back and who is the least likely? Here are the 6. Cornerback Riley Moss. Tight end Evan Ingram, guard Ben Powers, safety Brandon Jones, your former teammate, cornerback Jaquan McMillan, and wide receiver Marvin Mims Jr. Who do you think is most likely? And at a certain point in time, we'll have a dedicated conversation on each of these guys, leading up to training camp, the 6 extension eligible players. But just with a broad stroke on a day like today, who do you think is most likely to be back between Riley Moss, Evan Ingram, Ben Powers, Brandon Jones, Jaquan McMillan, and Marvin Mims?
I'm going to go with Mr. Riley Moss.
Really?
But Moss, the sauce, who can also be the boss if he can get his holding under control, which, you have to continue to work on that, work on your craft. But the reason for that is they drafted Riley. George Payton drafted Riley for a reason. Riley has taken steps in the right direction. I know nobody wants to hear that because of the holding and the penalties that come his way, but you try to strap up somebody, all right, that's 6'4", 220 pounds, that can run a 4.3, that runs a route, all right, all the time, and you're running up and down. Riley Moss is actually doing a really good job. Now, he does need it, and it comes over time, and it has to come now or he won't get paid. But if he can do that, Z, and stay more consistent, they're going to pay him because they're going to pay cornerbacks. And you need cornerbacks in this league because it's a passing league, ZB.
Yeah, and I've mentioned this before, but we don't see Riley Moss getting, cooked.
No.
He is always in the frame. He's a little too handsy. Yes, as you mentioned, he's got to improve on his technique. But Riley Moss is a good football player that gets lost in translation through social media on Sundays. Now, again, I'm not saying the penalties aren't a problem. He's the most penalized cornerback in the league.
Yeah, they must change.
But he also sees the most action of any cornerback in the league because of who he plays opposite of. So I, like you, think that the most likely guy to come back is also Riley Moss.
Mr. Boss.
I wasn't sure where you were going to go with that, but I actually agree. And it'd be a different story. And this works like this in sports and in life. Is anyone else nipping at your heels right now?
No.
I don't really think so.
Who is battling with Riley Moss? We always talk about Jahdae Barron, but it's Jahdae Barron versus Jaquan McMillan.
Correct.
But who else is battling with it would be Chris Abrams-Drain.
Yeah, I guess so.
And Chris Abrams-Drain wants to step up and take over that spot. He can, but with Riley Moss, I mean, he's kind of Riley in PS2. If somebody comes in, they would have to probably trade for a cornerback to compete with Riley Moss. That's Riley Moss's spot until it's not. But man, he kind of has full control right now.
He does. He's in the driver's seat now. If Jahdae Barron was the version that the Broncos thought they were getting on draft night, I think this entire complexion of conversation would change. But that hasn't been the case. So we'll see what it looks like later this summer. But yeah, the battle is not between Jahdae Barron and Riley Moss. I think that was the plan. Plans change. So yeah, I agree with you. I think Riley Moss is the most likely back among these 6 candidates. Who do you think is the least likely to come back between a Riley Moss, or I guess take him out, Evan Ingram, Ben Powers, Brandon Jones, Jaquan McMillan, and Marvin Mims?
I'm going to say Evan Ingram is the least likely. Like, as much as we sit here and we're like, hey, he needs to take the next step and they need to get him more involved, Evan Ingram has not done himself any favors by dropping footballs, by not being the version that we all thought he was going to be when it comes to being that joker and having that joker role. So, with that being said, and it seems like in the building, not a lot of people are fond of Evan Ingram right now. And we talked about it, and I brought it up that they actually wanted him to take a pay cut.
Right.
He said no. The reason why you want somebody to take a pay cut is because you didn't do your part. And they're like, hey, we don't want to pay you for something you did not do. So if I had to guess or I had to pick, I would pick Evan Ingram as the odd man out that will definitely not be back here after next year.
So I'm torn between 2 guys, but I wrote down 2 letters. E-E, Evan Ingram. So I agree with you on this because I think ultimately Sean Payton's the one to make the decision. And I just do not believe that Evan Ingram and Sean Payton have been on the same page.
No, they have not.
No. And so we've seen that bear out on a game day.
Yep.
In the Eagles game.
Yep.
And Sean Payton talked about it. I'm a big body language guy, and I don't know what was actually said, but but I think that the disconnect between the two goes beyond game day frustration. Game day frustration happens in every sport, when you're playing at a reasonably high level. But the disconnect between those two, I think, is just a little bit deeper, and which is like almost like ironic, painfully, because Sean was the one that was like, this was the joker. This was his prized, like, man, I can't believe we let him leave the building type deal.
Sean was upset when Evan Ingram left the building. And actually, Sean was calling to get Evan Ingram back in the building. Evan Ingram was already on a flight to L.A. to meet with the Chargers.
Yeah.
And then comes back. Sean pitches him this perfect picture of what he's going to do that year. And it doesn't end up coming true. Not just because of Sean not getting him involved, Evan Ingram we're talking about, but also Evan Ingram not catching the ball and breaking tackles and doing what he needed to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Z, I'm with you. Like, Evan Ingram's going to be the odd man out. And it takes 2 to tangle. If you ask Evan Ingram, do you want to be back, and Evan Ingram has the same kind of year he did last year, of course he's going to say no. Right, he's going to play the victim card and say, like, I didn't get involved like they promised me, and I want to move on.
Well, he said, I think at the end of year locker cleanout, he made, like, some comment that, like, I don't think I was put in the best positions.
Exactly, and that's why I call it playing the victim card. So looking at and pointing fingers at somebody else saying, you guys didn't get me more involved or scheme up plays that helped and tailored it to my type of strengths.
The one guy I was on the verge of saying instead of Evan Ingram is Ben Powers. And much like I said, almost the opposite with Riley Moss, is someone nipping at his heels. That's part of the, that's in the frame of the conversation. In Riley Moss's case, no. In Ben Powers' case, yes, with Alex Bauchesky. And it feels like there's a ready-made, less expensive guy that they've developed for, a succession plan. And so, yeah, but ultimately Evan Ingram because of the disconnect. All right, shifting gears here. What did we make of what the Denver Nuggets did last night? We'll get there next.
Is Denver's grip on Davis Webb stronger than anyone wants to believe?
So he's so appreciative of the opportunity and understands what a great opportunity is, and also what a great opportunity is to work under Sean for multiple years. He is not going to go coach at some franchise or some organization where you've got no chance to win. He's not going to do it.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Did you really think Pure Talk was just going to sit back and watch America turn 250 years old without doing something awesome to celebrate? Of course not. That's why they're raising $250,000 for America's Warrior Partnership by the end of July. America's Warrior Partnership is on the front line of preventing veteran suicide. They've had extraordinary success, and here's how you can help. When you switch your cell phone service to Pure Talk this month, you'll be invited to round up to support America's Warrior Partnership. No pressure, but if you do, Pure Talk will match your donation dollar for dollar. And to further celebrate 250 years of our extraordinary democratic republic, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for just $34.99 a month. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. That's pound 250, say Mike Rowe. And happy birthday to us.
Ben Franklin here to talk to you about water filtration. Unfiltered water in your home is no joke. Did you know tap water can shorten the life of your pipes and, even worse, be dangerous to your family's health? Our punctual plumbers can install a whole home system that filters water before it enters your pipes. Visit BenjaminFranklinPlumbing.com or call 877-BEN-1776 to request an appointment.
The local pros call Benjamin Franklin Plumbing.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zach here on behalf of my friends at American Financing. Let's do some honest math. The interest rate on your credit cards, 20% or more. Your mortgage rate, much lower. So why are you sending hundreds of dollars a month to credit card companies when your home's equity could wipe out that debt? That's exactly what American Financing helps homeowners do. And they're doing it every single day for people just like you. Consolidate, collaborate, conquer. The average customer saves around $800 a month, and you may delay 2 mortgage payments and may close in as fast as 10 days. American Financing's salary-based mortgage consultants are licensed in all 50 states. No upfront fees, no obligation. Stop financing your past and start funding your future. Call them at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at AmericanFinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Colorado, it's time to take our recycling to the next level. That's why Recyclon Colorado is bringing you more curbside and drop-off service from peaks to prairies. Guidelines as clear as our skies, so you know what goes where. And the price? As free as gawking at Bighorns on I-70. You deserve a recycling system you can count on, like your puffiest winter coat. And we're here to give it to you. Learn more at recyclon.org/Colorado.
Hey guys, your boy Stink here. And if you're over 50, there's a good chance you're dealing with an enlarged prostate. Waking up at night, weak stream, all of it. Here's the good news. PAE, prostate artery embolization, is minimally invasive, done through a tiny pinhole, and you're home the same day. Most men who have PAE don't experience any sexual side effects associated with conventional prostate surgery. At Colorado Advanced Endovascular, their experienced team offers specialized prostate treatment with near zero impact on sexual function. Lakewood location, personalized care. Visit coloradoae.com.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it. Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of Essentials Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
Hey, it's Phillip Lindsay here. Do you need a new roof, gutters, or exterior needs? Monarch is your one-stop shop, backed by 16 years of experience and over 10,000 satisfied customers. Their in-house insurance team fights for you. and their white glove service means every detail is handled with care. Competitive pricing, award-winning craftsmanship, and the only roofer the Denver Broncos chose to endorse. A proud member of Team Dave Logan, make the call to your home team, Monarch Construction and Roofing, the official roofer of the Denver Broncos.
I'm Rob Wilhite, and for nearly 50 years, my firm has been fighting for seriously injured car accident victims in Colorado. Serious accidents demand serious representation. We dig into every detail of your case, and we don't back down until we get you the maximum compensation you deserve. If you or someone you love has been seriously injured in a car accident, call the Wilhite Law Firm today at 303-GOOD-LAW or visit wilhitewins.com. That's 303-GOOD-LAW or visit wilhitewins.com.
AutoNation's July 4th sale means savings worth celebrating. Right now, drive new and used cars with zero down. Plus, make zero payments for 90 days. Thousands of vehicles, thousands in savings. Put zero down. Make zero payments till fall on all your favorite new vehicles. Don't miss out. Save now through July 4th weekend only. Hurry to your nearest AutoNation. Less stress, more go. 90 days to first payment on approved credit. Interest accrues from date of purchase. See store for details. Expires 7/5/26.
Stream Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, Dover and Cecil, The Drive, and all your favorite shows on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan app. Powered by Advanced Tax Solutions. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. It's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
What did we make of what the Nuggets did last night? Man, interesting evening for Denver. I went into last night not thinking that they were going to pick two players in the second round. I was pretty convinced that...
Wrong again, man.
Well, I was pretty convinced that there was going to be some more action,
yes.
with the current team and changing sort of the landscape, the financial landscape of the current Denver Nuggets. And I know I've said this, but you really can't have a conversation about just on-court basketball with the Nuggets without talking about the financial landscape of things. You can't read anything within the last 6 weeks about the Nuggets from anyone legit, without them referencing, luxury tax, repeater tax, trying to duck below that threshold, all that stuff. I don't like that this is the case, but this is the setup that the NBA has established, and this is the unique position that the Nuggets find themselves in. So, but that TNT that I thought was attached to this roster that was going to explode last night,
that was a dud.
It was dud. It never went off. Now, do I still expect movement here in the next 2 weeks? I absolutely do, but no, it did not come last night.
Like you're expecting the movement. And we talked about it earlier, and we're going to talk about it again because I still don't understand. Your best chance to get some movement done was attaching one of these players to the first-round draft pick, attaching Aaron Gordon, getting $32 million this year off the books, and you calculated like almost $1 million or $100 million.
Yeah, $100 million.
Of his, if you
extension.
got rid of him. Cam Johnson's another one, like an expiring contract, and you can get his money off the books, and yet you do not do it. Then you go into this next round where you have the second-round draft picks, and you pick players. You don't attach a player to try to get off the books with any of these contracts. So now all of a sudden they're going to still do that, and somebody's going to take on a contract with nothing else to help it out, to like put a cherry on top.
Yeah.
Like make that make sense to me.
Well, I can't make it all make sense right now, okay? But I don't have all the information. We're going to have to be a little bit more patient than I thought. And I still think there is movement coming. Because I refuse to believe they're going to run it back with this roster and pay a luxury tax bill north of $200 million just for the right to turn around and pay the players $250 million.
They had the money, though.
They absolutely do. Oh, no. This will be very much a choice, but just understanding the landscape of it, I think they're going to make a choice, and it's not going to be that. The players that they ultimately picked, Trevin Brazil, all right, with the 35th overall pick, fantastic athlete, like dunk contest level athlete, uber potential. But there's a reason that someone who's nearly 6'11" has a 42-inch vertical wasn't picked in the first round, right? There's major questions about his motor, He's more athlete than basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
He lacks a feel for the game on a possession by possession basis. But because he's so gifted, he's still going to be a draft pick, and hopefully you can do something with him here over the next few years. He's not a young player though, I have to say. He's going to be 24 years old here at the start of the season. So
so you got athletic, you got longer, rangier, but still not as young as you want to, competing with someone like the Spurs, like the Thunder. That's what I'm looking at. I'm like, if we were going to pick a player, just pick a player in the first round.
Yeah, and so that's where I'm at. They should have picked a Reed Jr. out of UConn with the 26th overall pick. It's a problem when San Antonio wants to get back into the first round to draft him.
Yes.
Right? And he is a very good player, Terrace Reed Jr. He's been arguably the best player over the last couple of years on UConn's team, which has been the best team in the country. And he's their leading scorer, their leading rebounder this past year, their leading shot blocker. All the stuff that you're looking for, he represents, all right? They didn't pick him. And here was John Wallace last night after the draft, why they traded back.
I mean, obviously there were guys that we liked in the first round, went a little bit higher than what we expected. I think anytime that situation happens, you see how important those picks are, and it got a little expensive to move up. So, we saw an opportunity to restock the war chest a little bit, some things that we've been missing. Once we were able to kind of replenish that a little bit, saw some guys that addressed some needs that we needed in terms of length, recovery, defensive ability, versatility, rebound, and toughness. And so saw the opportunity to do that with guys who've been coached hard, played in good programs, and felt the need to make the move.
Now, the things that he just described, length, versatility, toughness, defense, rebounding, Terrace Reed does that better than any of these two guys.
Yes.
And so, but he had this quote later, John Wallace did, that, hey, man, we have to make sure that we didn't get overexcited and draft happy, that we had to remember our goal. And I said, what was their goal? Now, I know they said, man, we thought about trading up for an elite point guard. I don't think they were ever going to be moving up enough to grab one of these elite point guards.
Unless they were going to attach somebody like Jamal Murray.
Yes. So, although despite him saying that, but when he said, we had to remember, don't get overly excited, what's our goal? And I'm like, okay, so what was the goal? And I think it's fair to ask, was the goal the whole time to move out of the first round and draft multiple second-round picks that are league minimum players, right? And so to have at the end of your bench, they're going to need to fill out the roster, right? And so I think that is part of it. With the 49th pick, they drafted a player, Bryce Hopkins, all right, who's also 24 years old, out of St. John's, 6'6", 6'10" wingspan. This guy was a former top high school recruit. He goes to Kentucky. He doesn't start, all right? He transfers to Providence. He played well when he was there. Then he tore his ACL. He missed 2 seasons. He then transferred to St. John's and had a really nice season, averaged nearly 14 points, 6 rebounds, was second team All Big East. And I think with Bryce Hopkins, I want to mention this because I remember watching him in the NCAA tournament, and I think this is worth mentioning. It's not going to define a career, but it's something I noticed. During the NCAA tournament, St. John's against Kansas, he wanted the basketball in his hands. And he stepped up in a major way, and he was knocking down threes, and he's not known as some prolific three-point shooter. There's enough there where he's a capable three-point shooter, 37% from three. That's a good starting point because we've seen throughout the history of the NBA, shooting is the thing that maybe the number one thing that you can actually improve on with a bunch of work. Ask Aaron Gordon, right? Vince Carter, Jason Kidd. Yeah. You can improve that. But the fact that in a big game like that, and I saw it a little bit against Duke as well, he wanted the ball. And I remember Earl Boykins, who I started the Mile High Hoops podcast with almost a decade ago. He used to say, at the end of a game, there's 7 guys who don't want the basketball. 3 guys do. You hope 2 of the 3 are on your team. And that always stuck with me. And I saw a characteristic about Bryce Hopkins during the biggest games of the season. I say he's not scared of this moment. So I think there's,
it's great to go into detail with that. I mean, I can't wait to see what he looks like in the G League and the Summer League. Yeah, because that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yes, and that's most of these second round picks. They're Powerball tickets. Like even with the 35th overall pick, Trayvon Brazile. Do I think that he is going to average double-digit minutes a game? I do not.
I'm still waiting for Deron Holmes. That was a higher draft pick than Brazile.
Yeah.
We're still waiting on him to get in consistently in games. 82 games and Deron Holmes is not a part of them. There's a reason for that.
Yes.
I'm just looking at it like, man, what is it going to do for the fan base? We're like, we want wins.
Yep.
Not G League and I don't want to disrespect it. That's still big time.
Yeah.
But I want somebody that's going to be on that court right now.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get that in Trevin Brazile and Bryce Hopkins. I'm going to stay optimistic. You know, Brazile can hit his head on the ceiling of Ball Arena. And but as Ben Gulliver of ESPN said, there's more sizzle than steak to Brazile's game. He's a high flyer who's never put it all together in 5 years of college. And so, but here's to hoping. So, all right. Couple years from now.
Let's
go. Okay, we saw a big boy trade go down today with the Colorado Avalanche. Val Nichushkin has played his last game here in Denver. How will you remember the complicated legacy of Val Nichushkin? We'll have that conversation next.
You asked for it, you got it. Backed by popular demand, it's the Drives Brouhaha.
Big social brouhaha.
This summer, Zach and Phil are back on the road bringing their party to you. Last up, Arvada. June 26th from 2 to 6 at Arvada Beer Garden.
There was quite a brouhaha.
Come find out what the commotion's all about. Head to DenverSports.com/drive for more details.
Guaranteed to bring the brouhaha.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Joe Fallon did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he commissioned a portrait of himself. Does Joe already know what he looks like? Yes. Do guests know what he looks like? Also yes. But not as art. It's Joe's savings, and if he wants to spend it on a velvet painting of himself with a white tiger at his feet, we say, roar, Joe, roar. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And right now, new mattresses start at $1,500 during our 4th of July sale. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zach here. General contractors, are you tired of working with 8 different subs for a single project? Homestrong is the answer. Their crews handle excavation, foundations, waterproofing, crawl spaces, and flat work. Visit buildhomestrong.com. You'll never go wrong with Homestrong.
Who helps keep Colorado's wildlife wild? Our people do.
Hello, my name is Patricia. I've been with Chevron for over 17 years.
Her team uses GPS to track where mule deer and pronghorn roam throughout the seasons. This data helps us take their habitats into consideration when planning our operations.
When we created our comprehensive wildlife and conservation program, it was really about what was possible.
Learn more at colorado.chevron.com.
For 90 years, Belco Credit Union has proudly called Colorado home. That's thanks to all our members who have helped us grow alongside our beautiful state. To celebrate our anniversary, Belco is offering a special low fixed rate on a new home equity choice line advance. If you've been waiting to start a new home renovation project, now's the perfect time. Go to belco.org/90 years to see full offer details. Equal housing opportunity lender. Membership eligibility required. All loans subject to approval. Belco. Banking for everyone.
Colorado weather can be unpredictable, but your roof doesn't have to be. When hail, wind, or storm damage strikes, trust Colorado's Best Roofing. Locally owned and operated since 2012, and a proud GAF Master Elite contractor with an A+ BBB rating. They provide expert roofing solutions for both residential and commercial properties and work with all insurance companies. Don't wait for a small problem to become a costly repair. Schedule your free roof inspection today and get the peace of mind you deserve. Visit roofingcolorado.com.
The new 2026 Honda CR-V was made for Colorado, and Champ Honda is the place to get one. Whether you're navigating city streets or heading up to the mountains, the CR-V delivers the comfort and capability you need for all of it. Champ Honda has the largest inventory since before COVID, so you have plenty of great options to choose from. And with their one price, one person, 1 hour philosophy, you know you'll be treated fairly with no games or hidden charges. And remember, they never charge dealer handling fees.
All right, barbecue fans, Dan Jacobs with Jacobs Law and 303 Law 4040 with something special for you that we're cooking up for the best free meal in all of Denver. Now, in addition to my delicious smoked pulled pork that we serve on nearly a monthly basis and my copycat Chipotle chicken recipe that has a kiss of smoke and is fantastic. Our friends over at Old Style Sausage, a local company that makes these sausages that are custom made for the smoker. Mike Daborski over there is going to give us some. So this summer, they will join the menu at the best free meal in Denver. We're here to help. It's every first and third Thursday. You get free groceries and a hot meal for the night. No questions asked. You just pull up and pop the trunk. It's every first and third Thursday, Smoky Hill and Arapahoe Road, E Hills Church from 4 to 6 p.m. Help us spread the word.
Summer is a time to feel and look your best, but I'm not talking about your tan or abs. Guys, I'm talking about your hair. Restore that bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to decades of thinning during Advanced Hair's once yearly summer savings event. Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day, and it can even grow for life. Did I mention Advanced Hair even guarantees your new hair will grow? Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during Advanced Hair's best offer ever. The summer sales event is on for a limited time, so schedule your free consultation and get the details today. 720-459-HAIR. One-day treatment, life-changing results with Advanced Hair. Your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Check out the incredible before and afters and get your savings details while still available. That's 720-459-HAIR. or AdvancedHair.com.
Arby's is on your side in the fight against Big Rush Hour. Get $1 fries and sliders between 2 and 6 p.m. with the purchase of any regularly priced food item only at participating Arby's.
Arby's, we have the meat.
Colorado's largest fireworks show, 22 minutes that absolutely blow the roof off. July 4th at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. But first, the main event. Team USA takes on Portugal in the inaugural World Rugby Nations Cup with Tonga versus Zimbabwe kicking off the doubleheader. The free Fourth Fest Festival starts at 3 p.m. 2 world-class rugby matches. Then a fireworks finale that'll rattle your fillings. America's 250th. One epic night. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com.
Listen up, Denver. This hour's keyword is midfielder. MIDFIELDER. Text midfielder to 303-713-1043 right now for your chance to win a $250 gas card. That's midfielder to 303-713-1043.
By texting, you agree to receive an automated marketing message from Denver Sports 1043 The Fan. Message and data rates may apply. For complete rules or to enter the keyword online, visit www.denversports.com/keyword.
Denver Sports 1043 The Fan presents The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
All right, today a major domino dropped in Denver sports. Valeri Nichushkin. Choo-choo. The choo-choo train. Val.
Choo-choo.
Big Val.
Big Val.
Getting moved out of Colorado and on his way to Columbus to play for the Blue Jackets. And in exchange, Joe Sakic and the Avs get a second-round pick in this weekend's NHL draft. All right. So the first round will be tomorrow night. The rest of the draft will be, over the weekend.
All right.
So they have a second round pick this weekend. They have a third round pick in 2027. All right. And now that gives them 2 third-round picks in 2027. And then they also got a 5th round pick in 2028 in exchange for Val. If that doesn't sound like a whole lot, you'd be right. But it is a salary dump. The Avs are going to save $6 million with this move. Give them more flexibility for Joe Sakic to go out and attack the market.
6.1 ZB. I'll take that one. I'll take
yeah.
that 0.1.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, but it is a salary dump. It's a salary dump. So is this going to make the Colorado Avalanche right now better? No. But you know what? It's about moving on, moving forward, giving you that flexibility to pick other couple guys up that can help out in the rotation, right? We need to get deeper on the blue line when it comes to the pairings. I'm thinking like at some point you move Devon Taves down to the second pairing. He's getting a little bit older. Let him get a little bit more rest. Go out there and get a left defenseman, right? So if you can do that, you do that. And now that you freed up $6.1 million from Val, you freed up $4 million with Ross Colton, you might be able to do that. Get younger on the blue line. And then, of course, you're going to have to get another winger. So Sakic is making moves. And it does kind of suck that Val's out of here, but this is a performance-based business, and at some point, everybody has to leave.
Yeah, I want to throw out the question to our listeners as well as you. How will you best remember Val and the complicated legacy that he left behind? Because it's not all or nothing, I don't think. And I'll give you my thoughts here and hear yours and hear from our listeners in just a second. Guys, summer's here. That means road trips. But with high gas prices, you may be questioning whether or not to take that trip. Denver Sports is here to help. Enter for your chance to win a weekly $250 gas card and a possible grand prize of $1,000. All you have to do is listen for the keyword every hour and text it to 303-713-1043 before that hour ends. The more keywords you enter, the more chances you have to win. For complete rules, visit denversports.com/keyword. What will you remember most about Val Nichushkin? The instrumental role that he played on the way to winning the 2022 Stanley Cup. Nathan McKinnon called him their best player on their way to that cup. Or everything that came after that and the complicated nature that he leaves behind.
So it's going to be a little different for me, ZB, because I didn't get to do this job when the Avs won the cup. Now, I of course, I followed it, and Val is a big reason why the Avs were able to win that cup. But once we started our journey together, everything about Val was very messy. From what was going on, outside of his life with him dealing with addiction and the drama with the young lady, to him not doing what he's supposed to do during some of these games.
Yeah.
And also it's like, hey, I'm excited. We're in this run. It was, I want to say, a couple years ago, and Val was not available because of the addiction problem, and he wasn't there. So when I look at Val, it was a lot of distractions. It was a lot of us coming on the airwaves talking about Val and what we're going to get from him. Is he going to be ready to play? Are we going to get some kind of update that he is not available for this game? What in the world's going on? And then once Val turned that corner and he was available every single night, he still wasn't the same version of himself like he was in that cup run where he was helping the team win a cup.
Not even close to the same version.
So my relationship like
your own experience?
Yes, my own experience with Val is just very messy, and a lot of questions of like why did you go through all this and put your teammates through a lot when they needed you the most, and they needed him to be at his best, and he wasn't at his best. Even this year, Val got quiet in the postseason.
Very quiet, dude. He's had 4 points in 12 postseason games.
Yeah, and that's not good enough. I understand Nathan McKinnon needed to do more. Netjes needed to do more. Kale. But for Val, this has been an ongoing thing where he hasn't been consistent since that cup run, since winning that championship. And for that, I look at it as like, man, it was a good run with him, but it was time to move on.
Yeah, I think I mostly agree with that. This is an ultimate two things can be true at the same time. Because when you win a championship, and as we have learned through hard experiences, they are just so hard to come by.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And so when you have such a heavy hand in a championship, that will never be undone. But simultaneously, so is your actions after that. And I've tried to be as sympathetic as possible with Val's addiction, all right? We've both dealt with that in our family. I unfortunately lost my first cousin and my closest cousin that we grew up with to addiction. And so I try to straddle this line of like acknowledging what that is, okay? Like to the point, I know in my circumstance, I was mourning the death of my cousin before he died. Like, so I know how powerful and impactful it can be, but also like you're a member of a team, and his decisions were scarring to the team. And I will never, ever, ever, for as long as my memory serves me, ever remember the jarring experience and learning what happened in Seattle in the year that they were defending a Stanley Cup, and just the layers of that horrible story that, just to be real, the team helped cover up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there was some dirt underneath the fingernails of this organization, you know, and the cleanup job, and it's a true 30 for 30 that will never get made. And the fact that people around the country don't know that story, to me, shows two things. One, hockey is just on a different level below the NFL and NBA. Could you imagine that story? If Jamal Murray, like it was before a tip-off of a playoff game of the reigning champs, was just nowhere to be found.
Oh, man.
And then you find out that he was, you know, inebriated in the middle of that same day that he's supposed to be playing, and there's a woman on their floor who says that a bad man took her
I'll tell you what,
ID.
Jamal
and
wouldn't be playing anymore.
Probably not. And so, like, it just... But it showed me two things. One, just hockey is just in a different place in our American culture than basketball or football, but also how good of a job the Avalanche did in helping him clean that thing up. And at that point in time, they became complicit with Val. That whole story is nuts. And it was so shocking to that team's system at that point in time. Like, you could argue, I'm seeing on the RamosLaw.com text line, Val is a workhorse that ruined 2 runs because of his addiction. And that's what he'll be remembered for. Colton says Val was a great player that single-handedly cost us 2 legitimate chances at a cup. And like, that is a real sentiment among fans. And it's an actuality.
He couldn't get out of his own way.
He couldn't. So he went from being arguably the best player on a trip to a Stanley Cup, and conversations being had in the wake of that cup that, is Val Nichushkin, could this guy be a top 5-10 player in the league? And then to be, the letdown that followed that, and then once he did get his head screwed on straight, being a shell of him for his former self, it's a complicated legacy. There is no question about it, and we will add a third voice into that conversation, as well as look back on the night that was in the NBA for the Denver Nuggets and looking ahead on what we think is next. All of that is coming up as we are on the doorstep of 40 consecutive minutes of commercial-free sports talk. Next.
The Nuggets went shopping for athleticism, experience, and depth in the NBA draft. Denver grabbed Arkansas forward Trevin Brazil, a 6'10" playmaker with elite length, explosive athleticism. Then added Bryce Hopkins, a physical wing from St. John's who helped lead the Red Storm to Big East titles and brings toughness, rim pressure, and versatility. Are these second-round picks the next hidden gems to develop alongside Nikola Jokic? Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-360-0681 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-360-0681. That's 800-360-0681. What do you have to lose? Call 800-360-0681. Again, 800-360-0681.
Summer has officially arrived. What's up, guys? It's Zach here. 5280 Exteriors wants to help you get your home ready before the seasons change. All June long, when you purchase a whole house of siding, you'll get free gutter guards, a limited time offer designed to protect your home and your wallet. Don't wait, guys. Book your project now and enjoy stunning new siding before fall weather rolls in. Visit 5280exteriors.com to schedule your free estimate. 5280 Exteriors, the altitude of quality.
Most home sellers get one offer. It's somewhere between lowball and not good enough. Orchard changes that. With Orchard's new Orchard Offers, you don't just get one offer, you get multiple cash offers from serious investors all competing for your home. That's right. Make investors compete with Orchard's cash offer marketplace. Here's how it works. You work with an Orchard agent who submits your home to their exclusive network of hundreds of local cash buyers. They come to you with offers. You review them all and pick the best one on your terms. So you don't have to settle on one offer or worry about leaving money on the table. You see every offer side by side. That's how you know you're getting top dollar. Orchard Offers means no repairs, no showings, no drawn-out process. Before you accept any offer, see them all first. Get a free home valuation and see your offers today with Orchard Offers. Go to Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com.
You can't always predict what's next, but you can be ready for it in a BMW SUV. The performance-driven X1 comes built for every journey, while the X3's sporty design and innovative technology keep your drive connected. The X5 blends performance with a commanding presence, or make it even bigger with 3 rows of luxurious seating in the X7. For every road, there's an X built to drive it. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Gebhardt BMW, your trusted family dealer since 1975.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here from my friends at Spine One. Let me ask you a question. You live with back pain, neck pain? Well, my guys at Spine One, they're an emergency room for back pain with same-day appointments. They'll see you and they'll get the journey started. And that's exactly what I did. Whether it's chronic pain, acute pain, work-related, sports-related, doesn't matter. All you got to do is pick up the phone and start your journey just like I did toward pain-free. 303-367-2225. That's 303-367-BACK. Or as always, you can find them online at spineone.com.
Summer should be a time of joy for children, but Wish kids often miss out due to their illness, creating a dark chapter during a time that should be filled with sunshine and memories. A wish from Make-A-Wish Colorado can change everything for these children, giving them the strength and hope they need to persevere in their fight against critical illness. My name is Carrie Fletcher. I'm part of the Alpine Bank family, member FDIC. Today, Alpine Bank hopes you'll decide to make a life-changing impact in the life of Colorado Wish kids by supporting Make-A-Wish Colorado. There are currently more than 450 Colorado kids with critical illnesses who are waiting for a life-changing wish, and 110 more kids will be diagnosed this summer. You can help make their wishes come true. Visit wish.org/Colorado to help Make-A-Wish Colorado grant some memorable wishes this summer.
A lot of personal injury lawyers make claims about how good they are. But how do you know who's the best? At Berg Simpson Injury Lawyers, we've helped Coloradans for 50 years, and our results speak for themselves. We have 29 best lawyers in America, 19 super lawyers, and we're one of the National Trial Lawyers' top 25 most influential law firms. Compare us to other firms, then call Berg Simpson.
If you've been injured, call Berg Simpson for free now at 303-790-2525. BergSimpson.com. Good lawyers changing lives.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
One Wheel Broncos talk. Cecil Lammy and Andrew Mason bring the heat on Orange and Blue Today. The most passionate intelligence and in-depth Broncos coverage in the game. Weekdays at 5 p.m. on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan YouTube channel. Hit subscribe at Denver Sports 104.3 and never miss another take. Orange and Blue Today, powered by Ramos Law, official injury law firm partner of the Denver Broncos. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. You're listening to The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
All right, rolling along here on a Thursday. We could reach out and touch Friday. Appreciate you guys being here with us. We are reacting to massive news here on the Avalanche side of things. We've spent half of our afternoon talking about it, and to tap into the conversation and include a third voice, we got our guy Will Peterson, who I can now see like right on the screen. We have new cameras in our studio.
Yeah.
And there is now 1, 2, 3, 4 and then 2 behind the glass. So 6 cameras in the studio, all new lighting that we got to adjust because as it's like beaming off my forehead here.
It's bright, isn't it?
It's very bright. It's
Will,
very
can
bright.
you see me? You see these pythons?
We'll figure it out here. I'm going to take a video and post it to Instagram if you guys want to see what it looks like in here behind the scenes now. But Will, okay, thanks for a couple minutes. Today, a big domino fell, one that we saw coming. We've heard Elliot Friedman and others float this out there that this could be happening. We had it built in as a segment today before it even happened. Val Nichushkin and the complicated history that he leaves behind. You have the floor here.
Yeah, it's super complicated. I just got done writing about this at DenverSports.com, guys. The highs were really high and the lows were really low. And let's start with the good times. You go back to the 2022 Stanley Cup playoffs. He had a real case to win the Conn Smythe Trophy, which is given to the MVP of the entire postseason, not just the final. And he was excellent against Tampa. And the Avalanche hoisted the cup, and Valeri Nichushkin was rewarded with an 8-year, $49 million deal. Even though Cale Makar won the Conn Smythe Trophy, you can argue Val Nichushkin was on top of the world, and he was. And then you go to the following year in Seattle. They're trying to go back-to-back and defend their Stanley Cup, and he flat out disappears. Zach, Phil, we've all been doing this for a long time. Phil, you as a player, now as media, Zach in media, me in media. That's still one of the weirdest stories, if not the weirdest I've ever covered.
Yes.
What happened in Seattle, what we know, what we don't know. We do know there was 911 calls. We do know there was a police report. We do know there was body camera footage. And there was a woman who said a bad man stole her passport. And Valeri Nichushkin did not play again for the Avalanche. They lose in 7. And their dreams of going back-to-back are derailed. The following year, you get to the Winnipeg series, and he's a beast in the first round. He's leading the NHL in postseason goals. And I'll never forget it, fellas. I'm sitting at Ball Arena before Game 4 against the Stars. The Avs are down 2-1 in that series. Desperately need to get it tied 2-2. And we get hit from the NHL that Valeri Nichushkin has been suspended a minimum of 6 months for violating the phases of the NHL and NHLPA's program. And that was a huge one because they had to go play hockey like 2 hours later.
Crazy.
And you'll remember it's one of the worst playoff hockey games you've ever seen.
Yeah.
They were terrible. They go down 3-1. They go to Dallas, win Game 5, but Game 6, Matt Duchene, double OT winner. And boom, just like that, another championship season is derailed. Did Val Nichushkin cost the Avalanche a dynasty? In my eyes, that's oversimplifying things. I don't think he cost them a dynasty. But he did them absolutely no favors with his off-the-ice actions during the 2023 and 2024 Stanley Cup playoffs. Now, he's come a long way since then. The guy has, for now, beaten his addiction. And I know you don't ever beat addiction, but for now, he has put it to the side, and good for him. His health, I want to emphasize this, his health is so much more important than hockey, and that's what he's done. But the cold reality is, he hasn't been the same player the last 2 years for the Avalanche. He's coming off a season where he didn't even reach 50 points, played in 72 games. They needed more from Nichushkin. And off the ice, on the ice, it just wasn't quite working anymore. You can get off over $24 million the next 4 years. Remember, Cale Makar, his massive extension will kick in 27, 28. Made no sense to pay Nichushkin more than $6 million those 3 years in which the Makar extension had started. So I understand I'm a long-winded answer right now, but this is a long-winded
I was going to say
it deserves it. There's a lot to unpack here, fellas.
Will, with that being said, when it comes to Val moving on, you saved $6.1 million this year. Do you believe that the Colorado Avalanche can get better because of this move?
Oh, definitely. When you now have $11 million in cap space, that's nothing to scoff at. I mean, Colton was a move. Drury was a move, but let's be honest, those were the smaller moves setting the table for this afternoon's big move by Joe Sakic. There's not a single player coming back to the Avalanche in this deal. It's 3 draft picks, and that is the definition of a salary dump. And I even said to you guys, and I made it very clear, I wasn't saying it in jest. I wasn't saying it to be rude. I said I would trade Valeri Nichushkin for 100 new hockey pucks. Well, that's kind of essentially what they did today, and that was a metaphor for just wanting to get off the money. Joe Sakic wanted to get off the money and not take anything back, and now he has room to go be creative this offseason and do another all-in type move that the Avs can hopefully look to win a cup next year again before Makar's money kicks in the following year. He'll sign the extension, fingers crossed, here in the next few weeks, but it won't hit your cap till 27, 28. So yeah, when you have $1 million in cap space, there's not a lot you can do. When you have 11 million, things could get real fun real fast for this current version of the Avs.
In your opinion, and there's no way of knowing, so I literally am just asking you your opinion. The Seattle year, as they're trying to defend the cup, if Val never, if he never has that transgression and all that crazy stuff never happened, do the Avs repeat? Are the Avs back-to-back champs in your opinion?
Probably not, because I'll take my cue from Nathan MacKinnon, who you will remember said at the press conference to start the following year, we weren't good enough. And you got to take him at his word. He's the best player in the world, and he knew what good enough was in the 22 playoffs, and it wasn't in the 23. But at the same time, I do have to push back on Nathan MacKinnon just a little bit, because they were an entirely different team with Nichushkin on and off the ice. You guys remember the stats. They were alarming.
It's true.
Their record with him and without him.
Yep.
With him, they were winning at like an 80% clip.
Right.
And without him, they were like a 500 team. It was truly remarkable how much of an impact he made. So I think it was easy for MacKinnon to say that 3 months later. And you'll remember that was the presser where he had Val's back in a big way, said they were going to welcome him back with open arms. And then he got suspended for 6 months, just, about 6 months after that. So do I think they were going to go back-to-back? Probably not, Zach. But would they have beaten Seattle? Heck yeah, they would have beaten Seattle. And then we could have seen how things shook out from there.
Well, and I know how I would feel if I was a player, but just like asking you to speculate, do you believe with this move and them moving on from Val, there's kind of like relief in the facility, the building of like, man, at least we don't have to worry every single game or every single postseason that this man may not show up? Or what do we have to, what's in store with Val? Are we going to have to try to cover something else with this man? I think that with me, it's a distraction. How do you feel about that?
No, I think you're totally right, Phil. I think there are a lot of people who work for the Colorado Avalanche today who are taking a big, deep exhale. And that's not personal necessarily against Valeri Nichushkin. That's just the reality that this situation burned them. And I mean burn them. These things didn't happen in November or December. They happened in the Stanley Cup playoffs 2 years in a row.
Right.
Again, I just encourage people to go watch the highlights of that Game 4 against Dallas. The organization was completely stunned.
Yep.
He had already burned him in Seattle, and then he burned him again. You go down 3-1 to the Stars. You eventually lose in 6. So, Phil, I think they're like me. Like, everyone wishes this guy the best, and everyone hopes that Val Nichushkin, the human, never has an incident again with whatever his vices are, whether that be drugs, alcohol, anything like that. We want Val to live a healthy and happy life with his growing family. But that said, I know people who work for the Avs. I'm friends with a lot of people who work for the Avs. They were constantly walking on eggshells around Valeri Nichushkin. And just because it didn't happen, last year against the Stars or this year against Vegas or in the earlier rounds against Minnesota or LA, doesn't mean it didn't cross their mind. I promise you there were morning skates where there were employees of the Avalanche who got eyes on number 13 and felt good that he was at morning skate, because I think it truly was a day-to-day situation that was, even if it was the back of your mind, it was still always sitting there somewhere in the back of your mind.
So you think of like the Val story in totality, right? This was a major prospect, right? At 6'4", 210 pounds, first round pick to Dallas. He just cannot figure it out in Dallas. He infamously, in the 2018-19 season, and you'll remember this, he goes 57 games the entire season without a goal.
That's crazy.
They cut bait with him. The Avs signed him, I think it was like for $1 million. I think it was like a 1-year $1 million deal, and he comes to Colorado and shows signs of life, gets himself to the point where
it was $850,000.
Was it $850,000?
Yes.
I mean, that just goes to show you it was a flyer on something that was supposed to be that never was. And then Nathan MacKinnon, 4 years later, is calling him their best player on a run to a Stanley Cup. You have all the drama, and then he gets his head screwed on, and then he becomes a shell of himself. Not necessarily the 0 goals version, but closer to what the Avs were onboarding initially. It's a wild story. We'll never know what would have happened if Val never got in trouble. I certainly think they beat Seattle. I think they would have had a chance to win the Stanley Cup that repeat season. And when you look at like a pie chart, how will you personally sort through the good, the bad, what do you think will resonate the most if you were going to like divide it up, by a pie chart?
Yeah, I mean, Zach, I'd say it's 40% good, 60% bad. And I'm not trying to dance on the guy on the way out the door, but the reality is what happened in 22 was special, but what happened in 23 and 24 will sting this franchise forever. Again, I think it's throwing too many stones to say he derailed a dynasty, but I also don't think uttering that statement is out of bounds in any way, shape, or form. Because like you said, we don't have the time machine to go back and see if they beat the Kraken, which we both agree they would have if he was still on the ice. We don't know if he doesn't get suspended for 6 months, if they beat Dallas in round 2, and then that year they go on to win their second championship in 3 seasons.
Right.
So I have to go more bad than good. Again, I'm not trying to,
No, I'm asking you.
Yeah, I'm not trying to just say, oh, he's gone. Now we can say how we feel. But I've always said how I feel about Valeri Nichushkin. Like, it's hard not to think that these are correlated, fellas. He literally disappears in Seattle. You have not won a Stanley Cup since. If that doesn't happen, are we using the D word? Are we going into this season saying, hey, you've won 3 of the last 5 cups? McKinnon and Makar have passed Sakic and Forsberg and Waugh in championship rings. They're going for their 4th in 6 years. Like, if we're just dreaming big, I don't think that's totally out of the question. And instead, Valeri Nichushkin is a large part of screwing up the Seattle run. He's a large part of screwing up the Dallas run. And then the last 2 years, it's been dissected ad nauseum, the Mikko Rantanen thing in 25. And then, of course, this year, the complete and utter failure and collapse against Vegas in a shocking 6 days in the Western Conference Finals. So I don't know. I wish we lived in that timeline where none of this ever happened and Nichushkin was going to play all 8 years of that contract here, and they were a dynasty, and they were being talked about one of the greatest runs in NHL history with 2, 3, maybe going for a 4th championship. And instead, the conversations are McKinnon and Makar ever going to get a second one in Denver. That's a pretty big fork in the road, and that's why I have to go 60% bad, 40% good.
Will, thanks so much. Great job.
Appreciate it. Shameless plug. Encourage people to go read my thoughts at DenverSports.com as well.
Shameless is right. All right, there he goes, Will Peterson. This is KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver, and KARSFM Laramie.
The 5 o'clock whistle, powered by Smart Local Union 9 Sheet Metal Workers. Smart Local 9, where pride meets your future.
We are coming with it, and we are coming for it. It's Zach By and Phillip Lindsay, and we are The Drive, powered by Regen RX.
Woo! Let's go, ZB. Put me in the game, man. These are actually game changers. We're talking about the cameras here for a second. Being able to watch Will.
It's crazy.
Yeah, he's talking to us, and we're looking back at him. I can't wait to see what it looks like with Mike Kliss.
Mike Kliss.
When we start to get onto him, he starts to thump that foot. We're on to you, Mike.
Thump that foot. Yeah, we'll talk to Mike tomorrow right around 3:45.
I'm thumping. That's why they call me Thumper.
We're going to be at the Arvada Beer Garden for the last stop of our brouhaha. Really looking forward to tomorrow's show. It's an unusual conversation when it comes to Val Nichushkin.
Yeah.
We'll get to Nuggets here in just a second, but, sorting through, the complicated nature of his legacy that he left behind, we'll ultimately never know. And I don't know, like, when Val returns to Ball Arena as a member of the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like the reception, like what does that look like? What does that feel like? I don't think that there will be many boo birds.
No, I don't see him booing.
I don't think so.
I don't see that.
But I also don't see a standing ovation either.
Yeah, I mean, if it is, it's going to be very few. They're going to be standing just clapping because of what went on and what we don't know. All right, it's not about Val on the ice, just on the ice. It's the story off the ice.
Yeah.
And that's just it's a weird, morbid, scary story. And me personally, it's just like, it makes me uncomfortable. Because you're right, ZB, if that was an NBA player or an NFL player,
oh my God,
they're done.
Phil, think about the juxtaposition, the contrast of these two things. If it was an NFL player before a postseason game, like one of the 4 best players on the team, let's just say Denver Broncos, right?
Yeah.
Who's the 4th best player on the team? Let's say Mike McGlynn, or say Garrett Bowles, your former All-Pro left tackle. Like Garrett Bowles is intoxicated in the middle of the day on the road before you play the Seahawks, and there's a woman in his room that shouldn't be there. She claims that a bad man took her passport. It feels like she's almost like running or captive or something like that. You know, the Seattle Times try to find her after the fact. No one can find her. You know, Bowles is whisked away from a hotel room, you know, by an undercover police officer that was working for the team. There's body cam footage of all this stuff. Like, and that happened before a postseason game. And then like no one, like Bowles just goes away.
You're giving me the heebie-jeebies just talking about it,
dude. It would be the most talked about story in all of sports, and this became the least talked about story. Like you go to the East Coast, West Coast, people don't know this story.
No,
you know, outside of Seattle and us here in Colorado, partly because of the standing of hockey in American culture. It's just not the same as NFL or the NBA. But also, you know, the Avs from a PR standpoint really, like, you know, worked in concert with the police, their own police officer, with Val, and this never became a coast-to-coast story. But when you talk it out and, you know, the cleaning up of the hotel room, I mean, there was so much to
it's dark.
this.
It's very dark, Z, and that's why, like, okay, for example, when and if Aaron Gordon is moved, everybody's going to feel some type of way. Right? They're going to be sad because of what AG has brought, not just a championship, but what he does off the court.
Sure.
How he interacts with his nephews and does that. And you're going to feel sad. I can't sit here today and say Val moving, like, oh, I'm poor Val, I'm sad he's moving. One, he's a player, and at some point every player is moved. But because of that story, it's like I can't sit here and be like, I'm so sad you're moving on. I think it's been a big-time distraction here in Colorado, especially in that locker room with these guys that are putting their body, putting themselves on the line to try to win another championship for not just themselves and their legacy, but for the fans. And a guy that you need doesn't show up not just once, but 2 times.
Yeah.
All right, that right there will mess you up and will mess anybody up. And this is where you start to harden inside. And it's like, I don't feel bad for Val moving. It was time for Val to leave.
Yeah.
That's my take on it.
And I get it. And I'll never tell a fan how to feel about this one because it is complicated. It is. But I'll tell you this for certain. There was a lot of, we got Val's back when he did it the first time. But when it happened for the second time against Dallas in the postseason, his standing in the locker room flipped. It just did. I know that for a fact. And you don't even need to know and like talk to people. You could just see how the players were answering the questions when it happened for a second time. And then, by the way, this doesn't get mentioned, but the newspaper in Seattle, they tried to do a dive into this thing and investigative journalism and all that stuff and tried to find the woman and they couldn't and all this stuff. They said that Val, they had it on good information enough to print that Val was a no-show for a game against the Toronto Maple Leafs as well. And that never became a deal because the team was sort of assisting like Val. And so, but also, like, turn the coin over. I don't know if you win a Stanley Cup without Val Nichushkin.
Yeah.
Like, he was so good. 15 points in 20 games, 9 goals. He was nearly scoring a goal every other night. He became, once upon a time, the 8th player in NHL history to score a goal in 7 straight postseason games with a hat trick mixed in. I mean, he was at the peak of his powers. Arguably, there was no one better on the Avs, and those were McKinnon's words. And so, you know.
But it's so crazy you say at the peak. Like, my man's still young.
I know.
Like, we're acting like this man's like 30-something years old. Like, he is still young, and he wasn't able to recapture that. That's the issue. Like, Val would still be here if he was doing his job.
Now, just for clarity, he is 31 years old.
Okay,
but to a hockey player, you should be able to, like, you're very much still in your prime.
Mr. Burns, who's over 40 years old,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And so, like, when I'm looking at someone like Val, it's like, man, you were able to have that great year, and we needed that. But we needed you to be consistent. Great players are consistent. You know what you're going to get out of them, and that wasn't Val off the ice, and honestly, on the ice. You didn't know what you were going to get with him every single night.
Yeah, and Val had the physical tools to be like an all-star. We got to remember, Val was a top 10 pick. 6'4", 210 pounds. Like, he is just built different. And when he was more fleet of foot. I mean, he was just so rare, that big body on both, penalty kill, power play. I mean, he represented so much for the Avs until he didn't. And so, and then you retroactively look back with the benefit of hindsight, like how much was he dealing with the stuff in Dallas as a top prospect, and the pressure that he was under, and maybe turning to that addiction that you went an entire season, 57 games, and you scored 0 goals, and then a couple of years later, you're arguably the best player on a trip to the Stanley Cup. And so it's just when you lay it all out, it's a complicated story. There is no doubt about it. That I am certain. It is a complicated story. Valeri Nichushkin with the Colorado Avalanche. That story, that chapter gets closed today as he is dealt to the Columbus Blue Jackets for a 2nd-round pick this weekend in the NHL draft, a 3rd-round pick next year, a 5th-round pick in 2028, and a salary dumping move. You save $6.1 million. That, along with the savings from Ross Colton about a week ago, Avs have around $11 million to spend.
The flexibility. Josh Kroenke always talks about flexibility, but there's flexibility there for the Avs to get better on the blue line with the pairings, get another winger in there. So, let's see what Sakic can do now.
Yeah. All right. We'll leave that Val story where it lies for now. When it comes to the other tenet of Ball Arena, all right, last night the NBA draft concluded. We know the Denver Nuggets didn't do anything in the first round. They had a player that fit the exact profile of what they were looking for. They passed on him. They moved back instead into the second round. Here's a co-general manager, John Wallace, on why they traded back.
I mean, obviously, there were guys that we liked in the first round. Went a little bit higher than what we expected. I think anytime that situation happens, you see how important those picks are, and it got a little expensive to move up. So, we saw an opportunity to restock the war chest a little bit, some things that we've been missing. Once we were able to kind of replenish that a little bit, saw some guys that addressed some needs that we needed in terms of length, recovery, defensive ability, versatility, rebound, and toughness. And so saw the opportunity to do that with guys who've been coached hard, played in good programs, and felt the need to make the move.
Anything can happen with these second-round picks. Now, historically, they're mostly lottery tickets, okay? Mostly lottery tickets in the second round. They had a pick in the first round, and you hear the attributes that John Wallace said they were looking for: length, versatility, rebounding, defense, toughness. You had that guy, Terrace Reed Jr. from UConn.
Right in front of you.
Their leading scorer, their leading rebounder, their leading shot blocker. UConn's been like the best team in college basketball mostly for like 3-4 years now. He was their best player. You had a chance to draft him. Terrace Reed Jr. is way further along than either of the two guys that they picked. I don't know for certain why they didn't make that selection.
But also, you have to shoehorn in there that JV might not be back.
Yes.
So you need a backup center.
And he won't be back.
Okay, so you're saying he's not going to be back.
He'll be playing in Lithuania. The Nuggets have a team option on him. They can keep him, but then they have to pay him. They're going to shed salary. They're going to save like $8 million. Whatever money they have to pay, they're going to stretch out over time. So, yeah, you don't have a backup center right now. You could have had one in Terrace Reed Jr. I'll just continue to say, like, this guy was a first-team All-Big East, arguably the best player on the best team in the country who was playing for a championship. And instead, they trade back, okay? For better or worse, they trade back. They're there at 35th overall. And I'm not saying that there's no value in gathering assets when the cupboard's empty. But I was also not expecting them to draft 2 players last night. But that's what they did. They drafted a young man named Trevin Brazil, 6'10.5", 226 pounds, a dunk contest level athlete. Loads of potential, will make defensive plays at the rim, but he's got major questions, right? And just naturally, your antennas should go up and saying, wait, he's almost 6'11". He's got a 41-inch vertical, but he's the 35th pick?
Yeah, getting drafted in the second round.
Why? The answer is he's got major questions about his motor. He lacks urgency. He does not have a natural feel of the game of basketball beyond highlight plays. All right? If you put on, I saw a draft analyst say, if you just put on the best 3 minutes of this guy, you'd think he's a top 10 pick. But even at his best season at 23 years old, this is not a young player. He's going to be 24 when the season starts. Even in his best season, he was not an all-SEC, like even third teamer, wasn't an all-SEC defensive team. So very raw, very much a project here last night in the second round.
Z, you list all that, and like for me, like that's great. But I'm looking at what is going to make this team better. How can the Denver Nuggets compete with the Spurs and Thunder next year? Or Utah. Let's just say Utah because you believe Utah is gonna make some noise.
I think they're gonna be in the playoffs next year. Yeah.
Drafting 2 second-round draft picks, that's not gonna move the needle because those 2 young guys, and I may be wrong, but those 2 young guys are gonna probably be playing in the G League. They're gonna be in the Summer League this year.
Yep.
Are getting some work in there. We're probably not gonna see them on the court helping Jokic out, and that's all I care about. I care about what are the Denver Nuggets going to do next year? The Minnesota Timberwolves, I feel like, got better. They got rid of some of their length and being as big, but they bring in LaMelo Ball, all right, another guy that can score at a high level, a point guard that's going to get Ant-Man more involved. And yet we're sitting here talking about 2 second-round draft picks that will not play next year, Z. That's how I feel like it's like, what are we doing to help Jokic and the Denver Nuggets out? And it seems like absolutely nothing right now.
Right now, that is the way that it feels. And I'm not going to tell you it doesn't feel that way right now.
You're supposed to help me out. You're supposed to butter me up, man. Say it's going to be okay.
We don't have all the information yet. So let's just say that, right? We're still like there.
So what do you mean when you say all that? Because the draft is done.
Yeah.
So when you say this now, what are you talking about?
They can still try to make moves. Okay? And do I think making moves to improve the team will be the number one goal here over the next couple weeks? I don't. I think the number one goal will be to shed salary. We'll see how much of that they can do. There's still time, and so if you remember, NFL free agency started. The Broncos don't do much of anything. People are hysterical, right?
Yeah, people were upset.
And I just remember saying, hold on a second. Let's give the Broncos the benefit of the doubt. They kind of know what they're doing here. I'm not going to lose my mind. Let's just wait a little bit. Next thing you know, you get the news that Jalen Waddle is being traded, and it's like, okay, this is moving the needle.
But you said it just in passing, the benefit of the doubt. You do that. You trust Sean and George because of what you've seen.
Yeah.
Do you trust Ben Tenzer and John Wallace and even Josh Kroenke at this point? Do you trust that they're going to do the right thing to make sure that the Denver Nuggets are ready to go this year and the year after that to try to win a championship? That's all I care about. Like, you trust the Denver Broncos, and they found a way to bring in Jalen Waddle, and we were excited. Do you think the Denver Nuggets are going to do something like that, make some noise like that?
Probably not. And if I'm hearing these basketball conversations that are just strictly on the court, I get those are more fun.
Mm-hmm.
I do understand that. Those are much more fun, right? But it's impossible to understand how the NBA works, and it's a lot. I've called it curriculum. They've made it really, really hard to understand. And by the way, truly, there is only a handful of sports media folks around the entire country that understands how the inside of the Swiss clock works of the NBA.
Good. Scott, I thought it was just me. I know I got a learning disability, so I'm like, damn, maybe it's just me.
No, but between picks that you can trade and can't trade, and first apron and second apron and mid-level exceptions and bird rights, it's just they've made their sport curriculum. But if you have a loose understanding of it, and I would like to think I do, you have to include in the on-court conversations and building the roster conversations have to include the finances. And unfortunately have to talk about the luxury tax. And unfortunately have to talk about, well, if you're in the luxury tax for this many years in a row, you get hit with the repeater tax. And if you bring back your team as currently constructed or even not currently constructed and you traded for Jaylen Brown, let's just go there.
Yeah,
you trade for Jaylen Brown and Derek White and Jamal Murray gets moved out.
Championship contending team right there. Sign me up.
And it's like, wait a second. Do the salaries match here? Because that's part of their curriculum. And if they do, you're left with the same sort of bill that you're currently left with, that you're still hit with the repeater tax. And if you're hit with the repeater tax, that means you're paying a bill of $207 million.
But ZB, and you're telling everybody, you're telling me this because you understand it. But to a regular fan, we don't give a you-know-what.
Yep.
All we care about is the wins.
Yep.
Just like you. Like, all we care about is going to a game, taking our son to the game, and saying, look at this team. This team can do it. We don't care about an owner who has $1 billion or even more than that doesn't want to pay $207 million to keep this unit together and add Payton Watson. All we care about is the wins and losses and being able to talk about Jokic and Jamal and in a dedicated fashion. And that's all I care about. I
get it.
Give anything else about what's going on when it comes to the repeater taxes. That's how a fan like me feels.
No, and what I think is happening right now in this moment in real time, you're speaking for the fan base.
Well, I feel like I'm getting frustrated right now because I do want the Nuggets to win. And I am looking around, and the Timberwolves are getting better. The Spurs are getting better. They went and drafted a young man to go behind Wemby, and Wemby is 23 years old. And you got the Thunder that are not going anywhere. And yet we don't know what we're going to do here in Denver. We don't know if these guys are even going to be together in a couple months. And even if they are, is this enough to even get close to winning a championship?
Yeah.
They weren't even close this year.
No, they weren't. They won 2 postseason games.
Sorry, I feel like I'm venting,
man.
No.
And I absolutely love it. And like I said, I think you're speaking on behalf of a lot of people. And I think I'm more of like, and I don't want this to sound the wrong way, but like I'm more of a realist of like, how is this ownership group going to operate?
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to write a check for $207 million for the right to turn around and pay the players $250 million?
Mm-hmm.
That's a $450 million bill.
$500 million almost.
Do I think, and that's for one season, do I think that this ownership group is going to pay that? I don't. So I think you will see corresponding moves to get under the luxury tax and take a bit of a gap year. Now, I don't have definitive, concrete evidence that this is going to happen. And last night, I thought the beginning of that journey was going to start.
Yes.
And it didn't. And so, again, I'm speculating, but there's a difference between a complete blind guess and a hypothesis. A hypothesis is an educated guess. Now, still a guess, but it's with institutional knowledge of how this ownership group is expected to operate. And so if you take that to be true, if you accept that to be true, I'm expecting moves here over the coming days that will not make a ton of sense on the basketball court, but will make sense financially in an effort to get below the luxury tax. And when you get below the luxury tax, the repeater tax resets if you duck below it for just 1 year, and then that'll allow the team to really go after it once again the following year. Is that a great plan? It doesn't sound like a great plan.
No, it doesn't sound like a plan at all. It just sounds like we're just throwing something at the wall. Hopefully it sticks. But, Z, also, if you're trying to shed salary, wouldn't your best bet be to pair it with a first-round draft pick?
Yes. This is where
somebody else will
yes.
take on the contract and take that first-round draft pick, but you don't do that. You don't pair a player with the second-round draft pick, but we're going to just send one later on. We're going to just send a player like AG who has $32 million on the books this year to somebody else, and they're just going to take it? No, what in the world?
This is where it gets kind of complicated. That's why on night 1 of the draft, I was fully expecting them to attach that 26 pick to a player in an effort to shed salary. And it's gotten to the point where I'm like, wait a second. Does a scenario exist with the Nuggets where they were actively trying to shed salary and no one would play along with them? That scenario exists very much so.
That makes a lot of sense right now. At least if they said that, I could say, okay, I understand. That's a lot of money that some people don't want to take on, other teams don't want to take on. So, okay, but because they're not saying that.
But this is, this is, no, right. But
they're not saying
But
it,
they're
so
never
like,
going to
okay.
say that. Could you imagine, like, yeah, we were trying to, get rid of Cam Johnson, his salary. We tried to attach the pick. No one wanted to.
Ship AG out of here, man. Nobody wanted him.
So, therefore, we moved back into the second round. But here's where things could get really weird. If that's true, that the Nuggets were, in fact, trying to shed salary, and no one would play along, there is a step that they can take to lower the finances, and I promise everyone's going to hate it. And I'll tell you what it is next.
The Denver Nuggets are staring at a crossroads. So what does this mean for the core, the future, and the window that was supposed to stay wide open?
I haven't heard a good plan yet from anyone. I love this stuff. I cannot think of a rock solid plan right now. I haven't heard a rock solid plan, and there's smart people that I listen to locally and nationally that talk about this stuff at a high level, and I'm saying the same thing. I still have not heard a good plan.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
What is going on, everybody? Phillip Lindsay here with the one and only Williams Jewelers. And I know there's at least 50 of you listening to me right now who are thinking about popping that question. And guys, if that is the case, then you know you need a diamond. So let me save you some time and money by telling you something as simple as this. Whether you're starting your next chapter with your perfect diamond engagement ring, celebrating a new milestone, or finally just doing something big for yourself, this is where it's all going to begin for you at Williams Jewelers. Close your eyes and imagine this. The finest jewelry legends all in one store together, making you feel just like family. And of course, their service is going to reflect that. So come shop the finest loose diamonds in Denver. They have every size, shape, and price range you can imagine, plus the largest selection of engagement ring settings I've ever set eyes on. And not only are they going to share the secrets of the business with you, but they're going to give you the best price in Colorado, guaranteed. So why wouldn't you want to create moments and memories for yourself and of course the ones you love by going to Williams Jewelers, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche, Denver's first family of fine jewelers, located in Tree Creek North on 3rd Avenue and also in Inglewood and Broadway and Bellevue. And don't forget to mention my name, Phillip Lindsay, when you step through one of those doors.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation. Schedule a free inspection with Groundworks, the foundation and waterproofing experts.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zach here. On behalf of my friends at American Financing, what if next month looked different? What if instead of robbing Peter to pay Paul, you had one clear payment and money left over for the things that actually matter? If you're a homeowner, that's not a fantasy. American Financing is making it happen. They're not going to judge you. They're here to help you. Everything is more expensive right now, and you're spending more on the basics than ever before. American Financing's salary-based mortgage consultants will give your paycheck a raise by lowering your debt obligations. Their average customer savings is $800 a month, and you may delay 2 mortgage payments, and you may close in as fast as 10 days. Guys, there's no upfront fees. There's no obligation. We all want to live without stress. Your home's equity could help you do this. So call them at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
There's nothing between a motorcyclist and the road, and when a careless driver causes a motorcycle crash, the results can be catastrophic. I'm Rob Wilhite of the Wilhite Law Firm, and for nearly 50 years, my firm has been standing up for seriously injured riders across Colorado. We know these cases, we know how to win them, and we won't rest until we get you the maximum compensation you deserve. If you've been injured in a motorcycle accident, call us today, the Wilhite Law Firm, 303-GOOD-LAW or WilhiteWins.com.
Hey guys, it's that time of year, time to get your lawn in great shape for the season. And when it comes to healthier, greener grass, I know of no 2 better products than Rich Lawn Turf Food and Revive Ready Spray. Rich Lawn Turf Food is premium organic-based fertilizer that builds stronger soil and keeps your lawn lush and green longer. And you'll find Rich Lawn Turf Food along with Easy Green Grass Seed, Iron Rich for yellow lawns, and Go Rich organic-based garden fertilizer at the Home Depot or your local garden center. Then give your lawn a boost with Revive, the fast-acting organic-based lawn treatment that helps create thicker, greener grass with deeper watering and deeper roots. Say goodbye to the backyard blues, guys. With Rich Lawn and Revive, your yard will be ready in no time. Find it at Home Depot or your local gardening center.
Walk into the back office of most small businesses and you'll see an old DVR humming on a shelf and a camera over the register the owner isn't even sure is recording. They got that like 10 years ago, and the company that installed it doesn't pick up. Vantage can repair or replace all of it. Cameras that read a face in the dark. Access control, network, intercom, AV. One company, one number. Invest in real security for your business or property. Call Vantage at 720-366-7759 or visit business.vssicolorado.com today.
It's home selling season. And what's the biggest mistake you can make when selling your home? Settling for less money. That never happens with Orchard. Low ball offers can wear you down, causing you to settle for thousands less. You don't have to settle when you sell with an Orchard agent. Orchard reinvented the real estate industry by guaranteeing your home sale. Their local agents help you sell on market for top dollar. First, Orchard gives you cash up front to buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then, once you're settled in, your Orchard agent helps you sell your home on market for top dollar. Here's what one customer said. I went under contract within 24 hours of my home listing, which was amazing. With Orchard, you never have to settle for less. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Curious how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Guys, are you looking for a simple solution to hair loss this summer? Get Advanced Hair's breakthrough one-day treatment during their once-yearly summer savings event. Your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day, and Advanced Hair guarantees it will grow. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during Advanced Hair's best offer ever. For details and a free consultation, call 720-459-HAIR or at advancedhair.com.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan brought to you by Weichert Realtors.
Listen up, Denver. This hour's keyword is tackle, T-A-C-K-L-E. Text tackle to 303-713-1043 right now for your chance to win a $250 gas card. That's tackle to 303-713-1043.
By texting, you agree to receive an automated marketing message from Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Message and data rates may apply. For complete rules or to enter the keyword online, visit www.denversports.com/keyword.
It's The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
All right, rolling along here. Just to continue the conversation that we were just having of the scenario that we sort of constructed going into the last break, and I'll reset it here in just a second. But before we do, summer's here. That means road trips. But with gas prices so high, you might be questioning whether or not to take that trip. Denver Sports is here to help. Enter for your chance to win a weekly $250 gas card and a possible grand prize of $1,000. All you have to do is listen for the keyword every hour and text it to 303-713-1043 before that hour ends. The more keywords you enter, the more chances you have to win. For complete rules, visit DenverSports.com/keyword. Okay, so we were just having the conversation of, trying to shed salary.
Yeah.
Right? And we know, well, I think I know that that's going to be a major aim of the Nuggets here, probably over the next 14 days. New league year starts here in the next week. Okay? So in the scenario that we talked about of like the most likely thing that you could do to make that happen was attach your 26th overall pick 2 nights ago to a player and get someone to take it. Well, what if no one played along? What if no one played along?
They don't want you in their game. You can't play. Nana boo-boo. What are you going to do?
And so that scenario exists as well because the league right now is almost like collectively trying to figure out how to play by the NBA's new rules. And we're not far into this new landscape. So we had a first round of the NBA draft that for, I think, the first time in my life, a player wasn't moved. Like, how could that be possible that the NBA draft of all leagues had their first round and not a single player was on the move? Like, whoa, this is new territory here. So there's a good chance that the Denver Nuggets were, I don't know how good of a chance, but there's a real chance that the Nuggets were trying to pick up the phone and call these teams around the league, and it's just ultimately the answer is no. So what if you can't? What if you actually can't shed the salary that you want to?
You're stuck. Can't do anything.
There exists a possibility that they say we're stuck with these guys and the roster that is currently constructed. And the way to save money, and I told you people aren't going to like this, but it's actually letting Payton Watson walk and not match his offer sheet. And that would suck. That would really suck. So say the Clippers come in.
Yeah.
Right? He's a LA guy. Payton Watson is. And what if they come in and they say, hey, we want to offer $125 million, a 5-year contract, $125 million for Payton Watson. And the Nuggets have to make a decision. And again, I'm just thinking out loud here, right?
Because the Nuggets get to match.
The Nuggets get to match. He is a restricted free agent. That's why last night when Ben Tenzer was asked about Payton Watson, he's like, yeah, it's going good, and we hope we're able to work that out. Like, hope you're able to work it out.
Like, come on,
Hope is not involved here. He's a restricted, that's the R in front of the FA, restricted free agent. You can match whatever he gets.
You had Sakic when he was talking, he said, oh, it's going to get done. He's going to Kel is going to be here until he retires. I know Kel and Payton Watson are on 2 different levels, but it's a general manager reassuring that his player is going to get taken care of. That's not something that was said about Payton Watson the other day.
Yeah, and so when you say, I hope we can get that done, it brings up 2 thoughts for me. One, does he truly want to be here, or does he want to be somewhere else? That's one. All right. Maybe he's a dead set, I want to be in LA.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are like that, right? He changed his agent after 3 years. And it's like, what's going on there? So that could be one element. But another element in where Payton Watson could be lost is the Nuggets are actively trying to shop players and no one is playing ball with them, and you're forced to keep them for now. And it's like, wait, $125 million, our luxury tax bill based on the repeater tax is going to be psychotic. We're going to be into the second apron. And as much as we want to keep Payton Watson, we can't get rid of these other guys in this scenario.
Yeah.
And so we're actually not going to match the offer sheet. That, to me, would be among the worst things that could happen to the Denver Nuggets this offseason. But to think that it absolutely couldn't happen would probably be a little bit naive. I don't think it's the most likely thing. I think something comes down the pike here in the next 2 weeks, but that absolutely could happen.
I mean, no matter what, we need to keep Payton Watson. That's a must. All right? He's the future. You're looking at him, young, rangy, plays defense. You need to keep him to pair with Jokic.
Agreed.
So no matter what happens, you're going to get rid of Cam Johnson or AG to make that happen. Or, ZB, you can make it easy and you can pay that luxury tax, still pay Payton Watson, going into this year saying the excuse was we were banged up last year, and if we can stay healthy, we can really make some noise in the postseason. That you can find a way to make yourself believe that, and you move on from there. I truly wonder how much input someone like Jokic is having. If they're asking Jokic anything, hey, like, who would you want to keep? Just because you want this man to sign that contract, it's not like Jokic has to sign that contract. Now, he probably will. That's a lot of money to just leave on the table.
Right, and it's the most that he can make is only through the Nuggets.
But also, when you've already made a lot of money in your career and it's not about money anymore, and maybe it is about legacy and wanting to win another championship, you're going to want to make sure big man over there is taken care of. So I wonder how much input Jokic is having on keeping somebody like Aaron Gordon or Cam Johnson or even someone like Payton Watson.
It's a good question. A question that I do not have the answer to. I don't. So we're left to speculate here over the coming days until something tangible actually comes down the pike. And in terms of like meaningful upgrades, with all due respect to Trevin Brazil, and I'm going to be very open-minded with this young man that they took 35th overall last night, Bryce Hopkins, the 49th pick. I'm going to be open and receptive to who these guys can be, but they are not difference makers this coming year. They're just not. John Wallace, co-general manager, for all intents and purposes, talking about needing more athleticism last night after the draft.
You got guys that are playing a lot more downhill. You're seeing how the game's changed a little bit more. It's leaning and skewed a little more defensively. The wrestling guys play a little more physical, but in this league, guys are good. It's hard to stop guys one-on-one, so the ability, anytime you can add individuals who have the length and the athletic ability to recover and get back into plays is always going to be an added plus.
Well, there's a lot of length here with Trevin Brazil, 6'10", wingspan over 7 foot, fantastic athlete, but he's raw. He's raw. And, John Wallace, hey, can these guys play right away?
It's very important specifically for our program organization because we're in such a unique space of, anytime you have Nikola Jokic, you're a contending team. And so in order to bring guys in who understand the work ethic, who understand the mental toughness and the discipline needed to compete for a long period of time, you can't really replicate that in most cases. So these guys come from a unique position where they can help.
All right. I don't know how much they're going to be helping.
Yeah, I mean, and also, like, listening to that, if I'm Jokic, it's like, yes, like that the luxury of having me puts us in a spot where we can contend, but I need help. It can't just be me this year. I want to stay healthy. I want to be able to stay fresh. In order to do that, I need somebody to come in and have my back. And I don't even have a backup center right now.
That's right. The Denver Nuggets right now, if you believe that they're going to decline the team option, save $8 million, and let Jonas Valanciunas go to Lithuania, and I absolutely do. I absolutely believe that's going to happen. The Denver Nuggets do not have a backup center. And, there's ways to mitigate that. You could put two athletic, fours, power forwards on the floor, and maybe that's part of their calculus. But as currently constructed, the backup center position has been a major issue here over the years. And you could have picked one.
You did pick one.
Yeah.
It wasn't your pick, but you picked one to help the Spurs out.
Terrace Reed. And if he becomes a player in San Antonio, man, I'm already frustrated, but if I watch that guy, and you know what I think is hilarious, I have to get this off my chest too, is the sentiment that I've heard of, I was totally okay with the Nuggets trading back. There wasn't going to be anyone there that could really help the team. And then hold on, then you get in the second round and be like, I like these two guys. These guys will be able to help the team. Seriously. Like, I've heard the arc of those conversations here in the last 48 hours. Feels like I'm taking crazy pills. Like, do you hear, like, is... Oh, what did we learn today in Denver sports? Well, turns out something pretty darn big. That's next.
With another NBA franchise icon being traded, should that concern Nuggets fans when it comes to Nikola Jokic?
If there's one lesson to take away from this monster Giannis deal, franchise icons can be moved. And the franchise icon can get to a point where the franchise is crumbling around him and you have no choice but to move him like the Bucks just did. And it's a cautionary tale about if you're the Nuggets, handle up on your business.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's ZB here on behalf of the great folks at Homestrong. Home repairs shouldn't feel overwhelming. That's why Homestrong is your one-stop shop, family-owned, over 2 decades of experience, and the highest-rated structural company in Colorado with over 300 5-star Google reviews. So if you see cracks, water issues, or a cold, dirty crawl space, start with a free inspection and quote. Homestrong handles everything: foundation repair, basement waterproofing, crawl space encapsulation, concrete lifting, decorative concrete, even turning crawl spaces into fully finished basements without calling another contractor. Financing is available, guys, and they have lifetime transferable warranties. You'll never go wrong with Homestrong.
Is your financial advisor managing your risk or just a spreadsheet? Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. Many financial advisors rely on target date funds, which are one-size-fits-all portfolios that don't know your name, your family, or your goals. And that passive management can leave you dangerously exposed. At Trajan, we look at the whole picture, not just the stocks everyone else buys, but the private market opportunities most advisors ignore. And as fiduciaries, we build a strategy around you, coordinating your investments, tax strategy, and estate into one cohesive plan. Your financial life deserves more than just a generic portfolio. Real Real planning isn't a stack of statements. It's the confidence of knowing where your income will come from for the next 30 years. Good enough isn't good enough for your family. It's time for a change. Schedule your complimentary consultation today. Call 855-TRAJAN-1. That's 855-TRAJAN-1.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Private equity investments require accreditation. Other services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
Hey, it's Phillip Lindsay here. Do you need a new roof, gutters, or exterior needs? Monarch is your one-stop shop, backed by 16 years of experience and over 10,000 satisfied customers. Their in-house insurance team fights for you, and their white glove service means every detail is handled with care. Competitive pricing, award-winning craftsmanship, and the only roofer the Denver Broncos chose to endorse. A proud member of Team Dave Logan, make the call to your home team, Monarch Construction and Roofing, the official roofer of the Denver Broncos.
Okay, I admit it. At 303 Law 4040, we like to have a little fun with the made-for-TV lawyers who pretend that they're from Colorado. In reality, they live in places like Chicago, Arizona, Texas. Heck, one guy flies in from New York City. New York City! Just so he can do his commercial and fly back home. Crazy thing happening here in Colorado. Outside private equity funds are pouring millions of advertising dollars to prop up these guys and get them to pretend they are local voices that you can trust. So what really happens when you call one of those pretend made-for-TV lawyers? Here's an example. A young man was hurt. He called one of those guys. The insurance company said, nah, we're denying the claim. No money for you. His made-for-TV lawyer said, sorry. So his friend said, you need to call 303 Law 4040. We took the case and told the insurance company their denial was BS. And they said, you're right. Here's all the money. If you've been injured, don't waste your time calling a pretend made-for-TV lawyer. Call 303 Law 4040. Go ahead, save that number in your phone. It's 303 Law 4040.
This summer, all roads lead to Groove Toyota in Inglewood during our Summer on Us sales event at the oldest family-owned Toyota dealership in the Denver Metro. New Tacoma's only $349 a month lease. GrooveToyota.com. New Tacoma's only $349 a month lease and soon. Hurry into Inglewood to Groove Toyota before the best Tacomas are gone. Groove Toyota. Start here, go anywhere.
Closed end lease for 36 months with $34.99 due at signing. Zero security deposit. Unapproved credit. Call 720-961-4465 for complete details. Offer expires 6/30/26.
Stream Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, Dover and Cecil, The Drive, and all your favorite shows on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan app. Powered by Advanced Tax Solutions. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents The Drive with Zach By and Phillip Lindsay.
All right, final segment here on a Thursday. We hope to see you guys tomorrow at Arvada Beer Garden, final stop of the Brouhaha Tour. All right, we're going to do our show live from 2 to 6. So tell a friend. We'll be there. And you should be there or be square. Someone says, what about the guy that they drafted last year who tore his ACL? You're thinking of his Achilles. You're thinking of Duron Holmes, who was healthy enough to play this year, just didn't play. And so they need a guy like that to take a massive step forward. I'll tell you another one who they need to take a massive step forward, like unusual pressure for a guy like this, but they actually need someone like this to work out, is Julian Strother.
I was getting ready to say, like, at some point, Julian Strother needs to take that next step. Right? There's flashes there, but now it needs to be more consistent. Because if you're not going to go in there and pick up some more guys that can come in and make a major impact, then the guys on your roster, the young guys, they have to step up.
Yeah. Anilo Piro hosting Denver Sports tonight with us in studio. We had a big story come down today. Not necessarily one that was unforeseen. We had it literally in our rundown slated to talk about it, but it was Val Nichushkin getting moved. And it's a complicated chapter in the history of the Avs. How do you view it?
Yeah, look, it's hot and cold. I think obviously you think about what he did in the Stanley Cup championship season and just how good he was in that Stanley Cup playoff run, but you also kind of think about the unfortunate aspect of what happened in Seattle and obviously following up that Stanley Cup season and what kind of came from that. And I think from the hockey perspective, though, it makes a lot of sense from the Avalanche, just trying to break up. You're never going to break up your core of McKinnon, Makar, Landeskog, but maybe the supporting cast around those two guys. But when it comes to what will you remember about Val Nichushkin, it's like the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. And the lowest of lows happen to do with off-the-ice stuff, but you also remember, he's a key contributor to that team that beat the Tampa Bay Lightning all those years ago now.
It's complicated.
Very complicated.
It's when he comes back to Denver, I don't think he's going to get booed, but I also don't think he's getting a standing ovation either. How do you think that will go?
I didn't really think of it from that perspective. I don't know. I think he'll be, I don't want to say championed or celebrated because that's probably too strong, but I think most of Avs faithful probably looks back on Val Nichushkin with somewhat of fond memories because he helped you win a cup, right? Like, it's one thing if you didn't win the cup and all this stuff happened on top of it, but like when you think back to that Stanley Cup season, you're going to think about Val, you're going to think about Nate, you're going to think about Gabe, and again, I think Val just played such a pivotal role.
Does he get a tribute video?
Yes, I think he does.
I think so too. I do. I think so too.
Yeah, Val he'll get a video.
Like you're going to look back, I think when it's all said and done, you'll look back on Val Nichushkin with relatively fond memories. I think there'll be that. No, I think there'll be that asterisk. But I think him winning a championship will be remembered more than his off the ice issues in Seattle.
Man, you want to know what? I don't know about that. And the reason why I say that was the RamosLaw.com text line. It was mostly, I'd say, 80-20 in a way that I almost didn't expect. Of glad they're moving on. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they hate the guy or anything. I know I don't. I totally get why they're moving on. Doesn't mean I hate the guy at all.
No. But I would also think that maybe some of that sentiment from the texter is that he's underperformed the last few years.
Definitely.
Maybe it doesn't have to do as much with the Seattle stuff. He's just not the same player that he used to be.
Yeah. But also, it's a lot of the textures saying that, like, he cost us, Val that is, cost us a couple more championships.
Many people said that today, that there could have been a second or third championship.
And so if a lot of people are thinking that way, now I don't know how many people are thinking like that, but if a lot of people are thinking that way, it's like you're thinking about the bad memories of if Val was there, if Val was healthy, in the right state of mind, we could have won multiple championships. That's what we're looking for. We're fighting to try to get another championship for Nate Dogg and Kale, and Val could have helped that out. That's what a lot of people are on the text line are saying.
And it wasn't just the Seattle thing. It was the next year against Dallas as well.
True.
That second. So it was 2 postseasons in a row that it was just like I cannot believe this is happening again. But again, simultaneously, Nathan McKinnon called him arguably their best player on the way to winning a cup. So it's a lot to sort through. In my time in Denver, which is here about a decade, I don't think there's a more complicated story to tell than Val Nichushkin's because of some of that stuff was really dark, really dark, but he burned so bright. I mean, dude, this guy washed out. He was the 10th overall pick in the draft, washed out of Dallas. Had his final season in Dallas, he went 57 games without scoring a goal. Comes here and is arguably the best player on a run to a cup. And then it just, once he got straight, he never could regain the peak. He could never regain the peak. But the peak, bro.
The 1 year peak.
The peak was, he became the 8th player at one point in time in the history of the sport to score a goal in 7 consecutive postseason games with a hat trick mixed in there. He was so good. Ultimately, it's 51%, 49% for me. 51% fond. Barely. 51% fond memories, 49% frustration and agonizing over, I can't believe this is happening again. So that's where I land on it. You guys have a great night. We'll be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock at Arvada Beer Garden. We hope to see you there. If you can't be there, we hope to feel you in spirit. But for now, we step aside. It's Denver Sports Tonight. Next.
The Colorado Avalanche continue reshaping their roster. Jack Drury is headed to Nashville in a trade that creates more flexibility for Joe Sakic and the Avs front office. What does this move mean for Colorado's offseason plans? And who's next? Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities, so do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
The soundtrack of summer is baseball at Coors Field. This July, don't miss the biggest celebration of the season. The spectacular post-game fireworks on July 3rd and 4th as we celebrate America's 250th birthday. Plus, score exclusive giveaways like the City Connect mystery jersey and the first ever hot dog hat on July 17th and 18th. Baseball, fireworks, and summer nights. It's all happening at Coors Field, and you won't want to miss it. Get your tickets now at Rockies.com/tickets.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard